there's definitely some kind of vibe that has built up over the years that, like, it's okay to be mean in a game. And I think that's got to change.
We've all had bad days. We all get rolled because it's the same, like, 12-year-old cranking 90s on us in the Fortnite lobby, and we can't build as quick, and he just builds a Taj Mahal and then just, drops down on you and you're angry. I get it, but
I don't think we should all be okay with just accepting, like, oh, this is how people talk on this video game. Like, that is not okay.
There's a difference between conflict and dialogue. When you're having a conversation, you don't have to agree. When it's becoming something that's toxic, right, there's no respect.
it's a social contract you enter into as a human when you walk out your front door. That is that you will act with decency. And it follows that this would also be imposed online.
And it's easier to just say, oh, mute your mic or don't say anything. But no, do better.
We just shouldn't foster an environment where saying something bad is okay. It should never be okay. It should never be on the receiver to grow thicker skin.
Having other people in the community that have gone through that and that you can connect with is probably the most therapeutic, helpful part.
Find those people that you connect with and have that support group.
I think just pushing a positive environment is a good place to start.
If you see something, say something. I think it starts with all of us standing up.
I don't know, it just feels like the right thing to do, to speak loudly about things that really matter.
I think over the years, the space has become a lot more welcoming, a lot more open.
There's such an overwhelming presence of, like, positivity and acceptance and diversity, and
great strides are being made, but I also think that, like, more can be done from us as the people that like to play them to make sure that that happens.
Keep playing because you love the game, and no one should be able to take you from what you love.
What's up, everyone? I'm Stella Chung, and in today's fix, Starfield makes a splash at the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, Halo Infinite gets a release window, and we finally know when you can go on ball runs again in Diablo 2 Resurrected. This is your daily fix. Microsoft came out swinging with a look at Bethesda's first new property in over 20 years, Starfield. The in-engine trailer begins on an alien planet aboard a vessel called the Constellation. The narrator talks about venturing into a field of stars, and we get a look inside the interior of the Constellation, which looks reminiscent of the space-age ships from the 60s. Beyond the cinematic trailer, we still don't know much about the gameplay itself. On stage, Todd Howard said that Starfield is about hope and shared humanity. Bethesda also confirmed separately that Starfield will be the first game created on its updated Creation Engine 2, which means improvement to graphical fidelity, among other things. A tweet shared by Bethesda Game Studios themselves stated, "We've spent years developing it to power the next generation of immersion and exploration." And yes, you'll be able to play it on Xbox consoles and PC when it lands on November 11th, 2022. That's not all Team Green had in store for fans, with a deeper look at Halo Infinite and its free-to-play multiplayer. Our first taste of Infinite's multiplayer came in the form of a fast-paced montage of match moments across a variety of maps. Cosmetic upgrades from Halo games past are making a return, as well as our favorite narrator. The free-to-play multiplayer suite will be crossplay and cross-progression. The experience will reportedly be optimized for every device: PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and S. We also got a glimpse at the campaign with Master Chief using his grappling hook to pull himself through some zero-gravity wreckage. There seems to be a new AI construct working with the Master Chief, but judging by its dialogue, Cortana may still play a pivotal role in the story. Halo Infinite will be launching on Game Pass at release, but we just don't know when that release date is specifically, although they did say it was due this holiday after having been originally delayed out of fall 2020. With the remaster of Diablo 2 announced at BlizzConline earlier this year, fans have been wondering just when they can take on the forces of hell again, and we finally have an answer. Diablo 2 Resurrected is hitting consoles and PC on September 23rd. This HD remaster of the classic ARPG will be available on PC via Blizzard's Battle.net, and Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PS4, PS5, and Nintendo Switch. It will include both the Diablo 2 base game and Lord of Destruction expansion. This follows a playable alpha in April, which looked pretty impressive. Despite a few changes, Blizzard is trying to stay true to Diablo 2's roots. If that isn't enough fire and brimstone for you, the remaster will be available standalone or as a part of a bundle, the Diablo Prime Evil Collection. This comprehensive collection contains the Diablo 3 Eternal Collection, which includes Diablo 3, the Reaper of Souls expansion, the Rise of the Necromancer content pack, and a few cosmetic goodies. Pre-orders are available now, and don't forget to pick up Word's leg so you can open that portal to the Chaos secret level. With E3 now in full swing, are there some games you're still looking for? Did Microsoft blow your mind? Let us know. I'm Stella Chung, and that was your Daily Fix. Now that you're all caught up on the news, be sure to check out the rest of our E3 coverage on YouTube, across social media, and even on your smart TV. Download the IGN app on all of your mobile devices, subscribe to the Daily Fix on Snapchat, and for all things, everything else, IGN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Freedom Games is our next developer coming up. And you know, when you have games that are like called Cat Cafe Manager or Dog Shelter, I think we can assume that things are going to be pretty fun. So, folks, here's Freedom Games.
I decided, you know what, I've dabbled in indie games. I'm gonna give this one last shot.
Let's just make a game.
It felt like jumping into the deep end.
I realized that making games is like a real thing that you can do.
It's just so, that's the word, is liberating.
We owned this project.
We just want to make a fun game.
You have an idea of what the vision of it looks like, but then it actually coming out the other side looking like that, it's pretty rare. I co-founded the studio with two of my friends. We had all worked at a company that did not end up turning out like, you know, any of us had hoped. So coming out of that experience, the three of us, we wanted to do something that felt a little bit more authentic to who we were and what we liked. Going into it, we knew that we had complementary skill sets. Having the kind of the core pillars of game design already there and having experience, we were able to cover a lot of bases. This is really the first time we've been able to pour so much of ourselves into the development of a game. I think I'm most proud of us being able to look at this game and know that we're hitting our own quality bar, especially for our first game.
You think you know everything, and then at some point you go, oh wait, we didn't know how to do that part. Well, I guess we got to figure it out. The four of us who started the studio worked in AAA. I left to go start making indie games. So we took that opportunity to kind of use our old friend group and our old expertise to start up the Wandering Band. And it was the first time that all of us felt complete creative control. That was fun. It was a challenge. It was also scary at the beginning. On a AAA team, you have technical artists and a dozen animators. I think the biggest challenge for us was trying to learn new skills and new parts of the game development process without ever doing it before. But I wouldn't trade it away. I think it's the creativity and the creative freedom is totally worth it.
The retro games. These were our favorites, and we tried to combine a lot of different elements from different games and give it a unique touch. A shout out to our community. They helped us translate the demo. They helped us get out the word. The demo has been played over 1 million times. It's just great to get a community like that. They helped us make Corman what it is.
I had lived in Kyoto for a while where I'd gone to a cat cafe, and it was such a surreal experience for me at the time. So we sat down and we prototyped Cat Cafe Manager. When you're petting a cat, I don't know what it is, like endorphins that are being released, like the good feeling that you get from that, we kind of wanted to put in the game. We live in a time that's like pretty stressful and out of control in a lot of ways. So for us, it's very important that you sort of get a cozy feeling when you get introduced to the game. Just making the cat cafe of your dreams.
I'm from a really rural town. So is Tanner, the other lead developer on the game. We've been together since middle school, I guess. Yeah. There's no companies, right? There's no video game companies in Little Rock or the state of Arkansas. So we decided to just be the first. To the Rescue is where you play as somebody working in a dog shelter and taking on all the responsibilities that entails. People love dogs so much, but this is also about raising awareness, right? It's both of those things. There's diseases that can appear in the shelter. It's dirty, and adopters only want the cutest puppies, and they don't want the old dogs. Essentially, I just want people to walk away with more knowledge about the things we're representing. We've gotten a lot of people that work in real shelters that are like, I'm glad that you're doing this, because a lot of people don't realize how hard the work is and how thankless it is. So 20% of every dollar that Little Rock Games makes from this game is going to be going to the Pet Finder Foundation. The game is about being hopeful that you can improve your community in some small way.
I first started getting into games probably about 7 or 8 years old, tinkering around with game engines. I started putting games on the web, flash games and things like that. I always liked the idea of really silly deaths, characters getting blown to bits in like a cartoony way. It's usually an area of frustration, but when you can see your character's head just flying off and blood's going everywhere, it's like, you just got nothing but humour there.
Sure gonna feel bad in the morning.
I come up with the idea of having like a Ninja Warrior / Total Wipeout death competition. I was actually working 2 jobs at the same time as developing the game. I'd have all these fantastic ideas while I was there. You know, I'd be on the checkout just thinking about Slaughter League, and by the time I get home, I'd just like, we ended up deciding that it would be best if I worked full-time on the game. This game, it sounds corny, but it's changed my life in that way, whereas no other game had before. It's just flipped my life to where I want it to be. So to finally be able to do this as a job is just insane. I love it.
This is definitely like a good, just relax, chill in the evening, play with buds, laugh at stupid stuff kind of game.
Oh, this is sick.
Yeah!
What is that? Oh, Jesus!
It's gonna be an absolute show.
I was pretty laid back in college. I did just fine, but I worked on Dark Deity. I didn't work on my own work. None of us have ever worked on games at all. So for the majority of development, I worked on it in the dorm, yeah. And we would sort of just sit in the dorm room, just like, you know, typing, working away. I learned how to code for like a whole week. I just didn't leave my room, didn't eat, didn't do anything. You know, where we're at, we're all 23. 2 of us haven't even graduated college yet. To be at E3 is pretty exciting.
Whenever you need me,
Maybe I should raise my rates. I have failed my people.
Weakness has consequences. This would make for a fine tale.
I've always thought that I would be good at making video games. My mom just sent me a picture of a drawing I did when I was like 8, titled My Own Game. I was diagnosed with Asperger's autism as a child, and I basically kind of just told myself, nah, there's no way I could be in management. But through therapy as a child and then continuing my own efforts, I overcame it. Now I'm doing my dream, doing something I thought I couldn't do. Through this process, I've really learned how valuable people are. There's 20 people on the team. I'm just one of them. And I'm hoping to convey some of that through the game's narrative. You have to have growth and you have to have progress. So for us, with One Lonely Outpost, loneliness helps highlight the value of connection.
It took us a long time to get here. We put a lot of hard work into it.
Shipping games brings tough times, but we've also seen like success together.
Success for us is defined as being able to continue to do this because we really love it.
We want to be what we know and be the best at that.
Making something that people enjoy.
Thank you, Freedom Games, for that showcase. Passionate, diverse, different, unexpected, Damon. That's what I would call it. If you weren't paying attention, Freedom Games is providing 20% of the profits of To the Rescue to the Pet Finder Foundation. And now, gentlemen, it's time to react. I will start with, I don't know, maybe I won't speak for everybody. For Greg Miller, I wasn't that familiar with Freedom Games before leading this E3 2021. Mm-hmm. I am now a Freedom Games fan. Like, I liked what I saw there.
Hell yeah. You're a freedom fighter.
Let's not go that far. I'm a lover, not a fighter. All right? I'm a freedom lover, all right? Yeah. Is that better? Koraman, Cat Cafe manager, To the Rescue, and then Slaughter League all jump out at me. But You guys are the experts. Dan, what did you like?
Well, first, I have to give it up for To the Rescue. Not only is it a great way to support the Pet Finder Foundation, but I really like that kind of simulation game. You saw a great pairing there. Whether you're a cat fan or a dog fan, you can come together to celebrate these awesome pets with a fun, like, sort of management sim. It looks really up my alley. But I dropped my notes, so I'm just going to stick with those for the time being.
I'll get them for
you. Thank you so much. You're a
you
true
dropped
friend.
this, King.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. The one I really want to talk about, because Michael and I were geeking out about it, was Dark Deity.
Yes.
A strategy RPG that looks like very up the alley of anyone who likes Fire Emblem or things like that.
Sure.
I also like they have an XCOM-esque wound system, which I appreciate. Adds another layer to it, so looks pretty exciting.
I thought it was cool. It was cool pixel art also, but also anime-style hand-drawn art that's going along with it too.
Don't take that away from me, Damon. Listen, if y'all want to get my attention with your video game, if you have anime-style artwork for your characters, I'll at least give you my time of day. I'll say that much.
That was the one. I mean, for Dark Deity, you went, ooh. I wrote my only note on Dark Deity is Mikey likes, because you liked it.
I mean, and Cat Cafe Manager. Yo, Freedom Games really hit me with my brand.
Yeah, for sure.
I love Cat. Dude, it's so cute. You know, Cat Cafe Manager. I've been to a cat cafe before. You know, you get a little coffee, you go pet the cats. If you're allergic, R.I.P. But yeah, that was really cute. It's obviously like a tycoon simulator management thing. And cute cats. Say less.
Say less. Damon, you love cats. Did Cat Cafe Manager work for you?
For sure. I've been to many a cat cafe, Greg. I have some ideas about how they might be run better.
Well, here we go. We'll see if you can put proof in the pudding and you get out there, you manage your own cafe.
This fool's lying.
No, it's true.
Oh, okay. True. Yeah. Anything else stand out to you?
I mean, their games are coming so quickly. You see, like, well, this game looks interesting, and then they're on to the next one. There was I think it's fair to say it's a Pokemon-like in there.
Mon's even in the title.
Koromon.
Mon is in the title.
Koromon,
I think there's more to it than that. There's definitely like animal battling.
Well, when it started, I was watching and he started like moving puzzles. Like, oh, I wrote very Zelda-like, and then it became Pokemon. I was like, oh, very Pokemon-like. Actually, I'm sorry, I got this one wrong. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, right now you can get out there and vote, no matter which platform you're watching E3 2021 on. You can vote right now. Cat Cafe Manager is winning narrowly with 32%. Right behind it, Koromon with 26%, and then Dreamscaper with 19%. Remember, no matter where you are watching, you can put it into your chat of choice, and if you want to just roll down your window and yell, somebody else will jot it down, and we'll figure out how to tally it up there, right?
Yes,
Thank
sir. Another thing that an extension from the indie showcase that we saw, like a lot of experimentation.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even though we saw some things that are kind of like, oh, that reminds me of this, that reminds me of Fire Emblem, that reminds me of Pokemon, they're still putting their spin on it. And like, I like to see those kinds of things in those games. Everyone has an inspiration, so it's like, I want to make the game, make something similar to the game that I love. So
it's all this evolution. I mean, like, think about One Lonely Outpost, for example.
Yeah.
We were joking around like, oh, Space Dew Valley, because it does look Stardew Valley inspired, which in turn is inspired by Harvest Moon. So there's a lot more that you can do with this kind of genre, this type of game. No one really gets to be sort of the be-all, end-all of that category or genre, and I'm excited to see what they can offer here. So it's nice to see a lot of these indie developers wearing their influences on their sleeve. I was really excited about Slaughter League, for example. It looks like that kind of competitive madcap fun of a game like Fall Guys, for example, but with the kind of murdery chaos you'd expect from like a Smash TV or like a, I'm blanking on the name right now, Meat Boy.
Oh, yes. And it's funny you mentioned Meat Boy, right, in the panel before, right, in the panel before, where we were doing the indie games conversation. Ed McMillan talked about the fact that the power of indies is that you don't have to appeal to the mainstream. And I think that's why this one stands out in terms of a conference so far, and we can all find something else to hone in on, right? Where it's like, yeah, I don't know if To the Rescue, a realistic, sim about running a rescue operation for dogs and cats would stand out or make sense for a big publisher who has to get a big return on their investment. But for this team here that wants to do a dog shelter and wants to have the stuff and wants to get profits out there to people and help, it's great.
It's smart of Freedom Games to, in addition to showing trailers or gameplays for the games, to actually put the creators in front of the camera as well. Indie games can be so much more personal. It's so much more one person's vision or a very small team's vision.
Totally. Yeah, one of the things I loved about it when you were watching their To the Rescue is they showed them at PAX, right? And if you've never had the chance to go to a PAX, I urge you to do it and then go to the Indie Mega Booth when you can go to things again. Because, getting to sit there and get a demo from somebody like, oh, what do you do in the game? You're like, oh, I make the game. It's the most personal way and the best way to get it. Ladies and gentlemen, when we return, our friends at Venn will give us a special edition of their series, Origin Stories, featuring 100 Thieves founder and CEO Nadeshot. That and more after this.
I always really appreciate queer narratives, trans narratives, gender diverse narratives. Tell Me Why by Don't Nod, with a trans character as one of the main characters, is huge. I can't recall many, if any, main characters that are trans that are playable. Being someone who identifies as non-binary, seeing someone that is proudly trans represented in a game is just so incredible to me, because it shows that not only game developers but the world is seeing these narratives as important things and stories to tell, because games are just another way of telling stories.
Innovation. It's happening all around us. We don't know what tomorrow will bring, but we know our broadband network will be ready. Because we're building it right now. It's more reliable, more secure, and 10 times faster than today. 10G will power America's digital future. We're ready for what's next. Are you?
More power.
IGN Summer of Gaming has officially partnered with the ESA for E3 2021. IGN Summer of Gaming is now all summer long. From major press conferences and announcements at E3 2021 to the IGN Expo with exclusive gameplay and reveals to exciting first looks at the hottest new games and in-depth developer interviews, IGN Summer of Gaming has it all. IGN Summer of Gaming begins right now.
Welcome back, everybody. Hello, hello. Now, we know a little bit about this topic, don't you think?
Thing or two.
In esports, the scene is becoming more than the teams, though. Esports orgs are making content, making apparel, and building a brand. One org taking this model to the next level is 100 Thieves, led by their CEO, Nadeshot. And Alex, you have covered all sorts of events with 100 Thieves. So what do you think is so special about this org and Nadeshot?
Yeah, well, you know, I've known Nade for years at this point. You know, all the way back to when he was a competitor. I used to make the joke, he hates it when I say it, that he's America's favorite gamer. But you guys, he was, you know, at one point, he was like the biggest name in Call of Duty. He was one of the biggest names in esports, right? And he still continues to do that to this day. You know, and I'm so proud to be able to talk about a friend like this, because to see his success has truly been incredible. I could not be more proud of him. And 100 Thieves as an organization, you know, they had such a history, right? From an initial reveal that didn't go the way they wanted to this complete transformation of this brand with a lot of support from great figures in the entertainment and sports industry. It has become amazing what 100 Thieves has been able to accomplish with their drops. Like, they themselves, I feel like there have been a lot of great collaborations over time, but few have been able to make independent products, right? Without collaborations that are just, they're huge. The drops are massive, and their hoodies, their shirts, all the lines that they have, the talent that they sign, everything is done meticulously, and I give him a lot of credit for. Recently, Courage, another friend of mine, is alongside Valkyrie, who is an amazing figure in esports, becoming you know, co-CEOs in the company as well. 100 Thieves have just done incredible work in esports, and I give them a lot of credit for what they've done.
No. I mean, honestly, I feel like they've paved the way for so many orgs. I feel like a lot of orgs modeled their formula of how to approach all these different things, like you were saying, merch and the content creators. But anyway, it's absolutely fascinating, and I'd love to hear more about it. So for more on the Nadeshot 100 Thieves and what's next, here's a special E3 edition and the origin story series from our friends at Ben.
My name is Hector Rodriguez, but you might know me as Hex. I know a lot of people in gaming and esports, and I will be bringing them into the studio to share their origin stories.
3 words that best describe you. Optimistic.
Introspective.
Whoa, you just put me on the spot like that.
It's really about cracking the code. And that's the same approach that I had with FaZe Clan, right? It's like, here's this thing that is so special that nobody knows.
When I walked into the job, this is sacred space. I am a guest here. I'm here to try and help align things, motivate, set new visions, get more people involved. I didn't start it, I didn't create it. You know, this has to be a very respectful entry into this party.
I'm like, yo, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
We were 3 years in 4 months.
Yeah.
And people are talking about, yo, why have you won a championship? You know how f***ing hard it is to win in League of Legends?
Join us on Vent for new episodes, behind-the-scenes moments, and much, much more.
Esports is 1,000% going to contend with traditional sports in viewership, which means
dollar bills, y'all.
Origin stories.
Bro, this is Matt.
Hi, Matt.
How you doing? Good.
Let's do me a favor. So what's going to happen is Hector will introduce you.
Yeah.
You'll sit down.
You better give me the best introduction
I
I've
can't
ever
even
had.
wait to give you the intro.
The prodigal
This
son.
dude. That was just
Stab me in the back.
I'm super excited. I'm getting mic'd up right now. I'm about to interview somebody that I've interviewed like 100 times, but I'm gonna try to make it super interesting by asking him questions and talking about that we haven't really ever talked about in public. There he is.
Oh, I'm sweating. I am sweating. And I have to pee.
Welcome back to another episode of Origin Stories here on Ven. My name is Hector Rodriguez. I am your host. Today I have the honor, the pleasure, the true pleasure actually, to introduce my little brother, someone who's near and dear to my heart, Mr. Nate Shot, Matt Haig, CEO of 100 Thieves. I mean, you do it all, baby. Why don't you come in and sit down?
You're about to say Optic Nate Shot. You got real close to saying Optic Nate Shot.
I almost did say
You
Optic
stopped
Nate
yourself.
Shot. Yeah, I did. Did you catch that?
I did catch it.
Usually, I like to start out this show by asking you 3 questions and then another question, but the main one is 3 words that best describe you.
3 words that describe me. Whoa, you just put me on the spot like that.
All right, 3 words that describe 100 Thieves.
That one's tough too. Let me think.
Can you describe anything in 3 words?
No, I'm not good at descriptive adjectives.
Oh.
Let me see. Give me 2 seconds. Let me spitball something that's. Well, because I don't like using 3 words because I'm confident in myself and I don't want to sound pompous. You know what I mean?
No, you're in good company, baby.
I would say goofy, impatient,
yes,
and squirrely.
Squirrely's good.
That's what you always called me. So.
Yeah, but it wasn't because you were like your brain was elsewhere. It's just because at the
look
time,
like a squirrel.
At the time, you did.
Chubby cheeks.
Yeah, at the time, but now you've grown into a handsome man.
Thank you.
Who knows you better than anyone else?
I would say, if you asked me that question like 8 years ago, I'd say you. When we were living in the Optic House. But now I have to give it to my girlfriend, Haley.
Yeah.
I mean, Haley can read all my emotions really well, and she's very patient, and she tolerates me.
Yeah.
Because she knows that sometimes I get angry, and sometimes I get sad, and sometimes I have a range of emotions where she is always just like that even, keeled, you know what to expect, and I know how she's gonna react when I am reacting to something. So I'd say Haley knows me best. We've been together for 2 years.
So obviously, I've known you for over 15 years, I think now. Oh my God. How old were you when we met?
2008, Call of Duty 4.
Call of Duty 4, that's right.
You weren't in Gears of War. My first event was MLG Chicago 2007.
St. Charles.
St. Charles, yeah. What the hell? How'd you know that?
I know everything.
Were you there?
I was not.
Do you know I got my ass beat? I almost made it to championship bracket, top 16, would have been considered a pro player.
Yeah.
Lost to Gringo Jr., who was like an 8-year-old kid.
Oh, dude, he was like during Call of Duty 2, I heard about that dude.
Yeah, kid was nasty.
Yeah, he was.
Pieced us up on Mansion, execution, last round was tied 3-3, first of 4. I'll never forget the round.
Yeah.
Made a call, did not pan out.
How many times a day do you say 100 Thieves or 100 Thieves or 100 T?
I guess I say 100 Thieves a lot. 100 Thieves, 100 Thieves, 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
I was doing like a PR tour for Excedrin. We had a partnership to make people aware of mindfulness routine that can help you reduce headaches. And everybody on that call kept saying 100 Thieves, and it was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
We talked to like 30 different outlets in 4 hours this morning. They all said 100 Thieves. I didn't correct enough.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be that guy.
Just 100 Thieves?
100 Thieves, 100 Thieves, 100 Thieves.
Yeah. Let's go back to the earliest memory that you have. Born in Chicago, Illinois, lived in Palos
Hills.
Palos Hills. Does your dad still live at the same crib?
He built the house that we grew up in Palos Hills, and then after my mom passed, I think there were just too many bad memories in the house, so he sold it and moved to a nice part of town, which was like 20 minutes away. It's called Orland Park.
Okay.
And now he moved again to a city called Lisle. So it's tough, man. I wish I could go back to that house to kind of like face some of the fears that I had from the stuff that I saw with my mom, but I'm glad that I can still go back to Chicago. I'm bummed that you guys went to Texas, because that was always like my saving grace. All right, I go see my pops, go hang out with Optic. That was great. But my earliest memory, that's kind of tough. I think one of my earliest memories was probably my dad. He would have to reside the house every couple years because of the material that he used to build it. And he had scaffolding built up the side of this 2-story home. And I was playing on it like a jungle gym, but little did I know that wasps started nesting inside the scaffolding itself.
Yeah.
And so like 4 or 5 of them came out and stung me all at one time in my hand, and I've been terrified of flying bugs ever since.
How old were you?
I don't know, I was young.
Like, were you a teenager, or were you like a toddler?
No, I was younger than that.
Like 7, 8?
I was probably like 8, 9, 10.
Were you crying?
Yeah, bawling my eyes out. I cried a lot as a kid.
Did you?
Yeah. I was a very emotional young man.
I think I cried a lot up until like I was 4 years old, and that's what my parents told me. It's like, it wasn't until I was able to hit someone that I cried, because I didn't know how to release that anger. But once I learned how to punch walls and things, I started doing that in the bed.
Yeah, I didn't get angry. I got sad.
I was telling Lee Trink the story about me being in Mexico as for my school, as a Catholic school.
Juarez.
Yeah, and how the nuns would grab me from the hair here, and then they would just like seriously jerk it. So I was like, oh my God, that hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were just disciplinaries. And both of my parents were actually disciplinaries. My dad was super strict, you know him, a very quiet dude, but that's because of that. And my mom was just like, super like,
yeah.
And I still became like what I became. Just like I didn't give a shit. Like they hurt. I would pretend like it hurt, but I'd be like, and they'd be like, it don't hurt. I would look at the wall or my teddy bear and be like,
see, I love that. But I think that's what I appreciated actually a lot, getting to hang out with you. You're like 10 years older than me when we first started hanging out. And I always loved your mentality around other people. Like you're just like very tough exterior. And that was something I could appreciate, because my dad was a great dad. I love my dad to death. He's my hero. But there was a lot of things that, I don't want to say, because we're not in the streets in Schaumburg of Illinois, but just like seeing how you interact with individuals. If somebody doesn't talk to you right, you kind of let them know that they weren't talking to you the right way.
Yeah.
And that was, I don't like confrontation, and that was stuff that I wouldn't do. But now that I'm older and a lot more confident in myself, like I feel like I picked up some tendencies from you.
Do you wish that you could go back to a certain situation and be like, yo, my man?
All the time, brother. All the time, man.
Do you have one that you can recall right now?
Man, I mean, well, what's the situation? Like, do I have the knowledge that I do of where I'm gonna be in life?
No, you're just you.
I was just me?
Yeah.
Nah, man, I didn't have going for me. Like, who am I gonna step up to, bro?
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I didn't get testosterone shots as a kid. Did you know that?
No.
I was not even in the percentile of growth, so they were worried that I wasn't gonna be on track to be a certain height or a certain weight. So freshman year, bro, I weighed like 85 pounds, and I was like 4'8".
So were you like a good kid, bad kid? Did you get in trouble? Were you the class clown? What kind of kid were you?
No, I wasn't the class clown. Dude, I've told people this before, but I was a super timid kid. I mean, I was really bad in social situations. I didn't know how to make friends. I mean, I had friends in grade school and then like going into high school, but my first job at McDonald's is like what really helped me come out of my shell and start learning how to talk to people and not be so afraid. But yeah, I wasn't a class clown. I kind of just like stayed to the side, and I wanted attention. I know that for a fact. Like, I just took this narcissism test. I'm like right in the middle. I'm like a 18 out of 40.
Are you?
I thought I'd be way more narcissistic than that.
Yeah. What do you think mine would be? My score?
I think you'd probably be like a 28.
Is that bad?
40 is the highest.
40 is the highest?
You know Jackson from 100 Thieves? He got a 33.
Jackson got a 33?
He's the definition of a narcissist.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, I was like just a quiet kid.
Play sports?
Yeah. Baseball, basketball, B team. I was terrible at that. I was too short, man. I didn't have any athletic ability.
Yeah? I mean, so was Muggsy Bogues, I think.
Second baseman, 4th through 8th grade, though, all-stars every year.
Really?
Yeah. If you can hang your hat on that.
I can. Yeah. I mean, I've seen the pictures, or I've seen the one picture of you as like a baby with a bat.
Yeah.
Just like chubby
Bro, that was me
cheeks.
in like 7th grade.
No, you were not.
No, I'm playing.
Oh,
I was,
my God.
I
Bro, I literally thought that was true, and I'm like, man, you had to look like you're like 7.
Yeah.
I remember clearly, by the way, the first day that I heard your voice when we were playing on Vacant with Diesel and somebody else. You were playing with somebody else. But I remember, and I'm like, damn, this has got a deep-ass voice.
No, you go back and watch my old videos, I sound like a...
No, I don't know why, but you sounded like, I don't know, you were talking like a grown dude.
Must have been the testosterone shots.
May have been.
I didn't grow this myself.
No. But I remember that clearly. When do you think was the first time that we met?
Well, I mean, I could tell you the story how you and I met, but I don't know if you want that on camera with Optic Nerve. Yeah.
Yeah, go.
Well, so we were one of the better competitive teams in Modern Warfare 2. We won the first 3 major tournaments in Modern Warfare 2. And then Optic reached out to this guy named Optic Nerve, who no longer works there. I mean, he wasn't even working there much longer after I joined. But he basically said, yeah, we're looking for a competitive team right now. We make YouTube videos and we make money off of it. And my mind was blown. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, hold on. Back up. Because I had posted like clips to my YouTube channel of me clutching 1v3s on Crossfire, Search and Destroy, all these old school gameplays from game battles. So when I found out you guys can make money from videos, that's when I don't know why, because I don't think I've ever had that level of motivation for anything in my life besides that. Yeah. As soon as I heard that, it was, let's blow the hinges off this thing and let's go. Yeah. So and I got introduced to you. I think I was really scared to talk to you. I think we hopped in a Skype call, and you were kind of an asshole, to be honest. Yeah. You wanted no business talking to me. You were just very short. Yeah. Like, who the is this guy?
No, I knew who you were. I just didn't want to have anything to do with you at the time.
Yeah. Seriously though, that's what the tough part was.
Is that what it felt?
Well, because Optic was so tight knit back then. I felt like I had to be in your good graces to really feel a part of it, but I was only close with like Diesel and Predator. Yeah. Predator was the
I think
OG.
that's. I mean, still to this day, I think that's how Optic is, right? Like it's literally the same group of guys since the beginning.
The first time somebody meets you, they got to approach you the right way, because if they don't, I think you write them off immediately.
Yeah. All right, so let's get back to the origin story. Take me through the competitive years of 2010 through 2012.
It's pretty broad, man.
Yeah, 2010 is what? Modern Warfare 2?
2010 to 2012, nothing happened. Nothing notable besides, COD XP.
Yeah, 2011, COD XP.
COD XP, we won that event, $100,000.
You just made $100 grand. How does that feel?
I don't want to work at McDonald's anymore.
You guys end up winning. And again, I knew that we were going to win it. I don't know how, but I remember that the moment that you guys won, I was in the middle of the crowd, and Jericho, Gold Glove, Dr. Disrespect at the time, or, Guy, he wasn't in custom, Guy and Bashir Musa, and T. Martin were all there.
Bash?
Yeah, Bash. Yeah. From there, let's jump through 2013, Black Ops 2. Yeah. You're blowing up. For the first time ever, after only sponsoring people in Halo 3, here comes Red Bull.
Oh, yeah. So that was really the biggest moment, is I flew out to LA. I was staying at the Gamereactor house, which was Jericho, Syndicate, and Gold Glove. And I was going out there to sign a contract with Red Bull, part of their athlete program, because I grew up watching Wall Street was sponsored by Red Bull, and to me that seemed like the coolest thing ever. Same. And I sent them a DM when I was still living at my parents' house, like a year prior, like, hey, I'm really interested in Red Bull and working with you guys. Do you have any plans of getting in Call of Duty? That's when I met a guy named Sam Keen, who's still friends with to this day, great guy. Yeah. And they flew me out later that year, 2012, signed the contract, and when I got back, that's when Black Ops 2 and live streaming, it seemed as if every day after I returned from LA with the Red Bull hat on, it was 1,000 viewers, 2,000 viewers, 3,000 viewers, just climbing and climbing and climbing. That was when I caught my break.
Yeah. All right, so walk me through your decision to, one, retire, and then ultimately leave Optic.
Yeah, I was going back and forth to LA, and Fwiz, who's the head of gaming at YouTube, who you and I are both really, really close with, one of our best friends, he was always convincing me, or trying to convince me, to spend some time in LA, just to broaden my horizons, try something new. So yeah, I mean, look, dude, when you think you're like in love, and it kind of clouds your judgment, and all I want to do is get out to LA and start that next chapter of my life. But it came with a heavy heart because I didn't want to leave Optic or the house because I was having so much fun. I have a hard time actually putting myself back in my shoes that I was in then.
Yeah.
Because
you're not the same person.
Yeah, I'm not the same person, and I would probably do it again, but I'm upset that I cut off that part of my life so soon. Because I love the Optic House and I love living around you and hanging out. And I thought that's what I was going to be doing for the rest of my life. I thought we had something special that nothing could ever alter, and we're going to take over the world of gaming. And Optic has done it respectively. I'm trying to do it with 100 Thieves. But yeah, I definitely have regrets of leaving at that time in my life when I did.
Yeah.
Because I moved out to LA, started living on my own, and felt like I was on an island. I mean, I was in a house living with all my best friends.
Yeah.
And now I'm in LA alone, trying to find my way.
You know what's crazy is that back when you were still back in Chicago with us, you brought up the whole streetwear thing to me. So walk me through your decision to finally pull the trigger on doing something that you had been talking about for years.
I was sitting on my couch, depressed as just watching like reruns of Friends for the first time. I'm not even kidding, man. It was a really dark point in my life just because I wasn't happy with what I was doing, and I just felt isolated, even though I had friends around me. And so I was trying to come up with something that I could get excited about again, and I've always wanted to start an apparel brand. And even then, I don't even think I knew what my style was or what my style would turn into, but I knew that if I created something that I really loved, everything else would follow.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to come up with words that play on each other that sound really cool.
Yeah.
If I'm being totally candid,
yeah,
that's really all it was. Like, Thieves popped up into my head. I don't remember why, but I always thought the idea, maybe I was playing Skyrim a lot. I don't know. Thieves Guild, Thieves. Like, Thieves by itself, definitely can't get the trademark for that. It wouldn't be that original. Like, how can I add something on top to make it sound fun? And I've always been one that wanted to make money. Of
course.
So I always thought about, like, the $100 bill is one thing that you hear everywhere. You see it everywhere, pop culture, hip hop. So I was just like, man, this kind of rolls off the tongue, 100 Thieves. And I want to go back and get my old phone because I still have it.
Yeah.
Send in the first text about, hey, what do you think of this? 100 Thieves.
What did you send that text with?
I think I sent it to my ex-girlfriend at the time.
Yeah. First time that you're in the room with Dan Gilbert, what are your feelings?
Well, they flew me out to the NBA Finals, and that was surreal. It was Cleveland versus the Warriors, and I went up to San Francisco, and I sat in this room with Dan in a boardroom at the hotel the team was staying at. So I was seeing all the players walking around. Dan had like 4 people on his side, opening doors for him. He just looked like money.
Yeah.
And we started going through the pitch, started talking about it. And to be honest with you, I was nervous at first, but then once we started talking about gaming, it's my wheelhouse. So
yeah.
I was just firing from all cylinders. Connections were being made in my mind. It was somehow Limitless, Bradley Cooper, except I didn't look as good. So I started pitching 100 Thieves off this deck that Blake masterfully built. And he sat there with me for an hour. And Blake actually told me he never really sits in a room with anybody longer than 30 minutes. And he got on a helicopter directly after and went and had dinner with Steve Jobs' wife.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, so Dan Gilbert makes this massive investment. How does the Drake situation happen? Obviously with
Scooter Braun.
Scooter Braun, such a good name, good basketball player right here.
Scooter's a legend. Man, that story's funny. So I get introduced to Scooter by this random dude who was working in Venture, who basically said, yeah, I know Scooter really well. You guys should come take a meeting. And this was when we were raising our Series A. So Dan Gilbert did our seed series of Series A. We were trying to raise like $10 million. So this guy, after hearing our pitch, introduced us to Scooter. And he takes me to Scooter's office. And this dude's literally on the phone with Justin Bieber as I walk in. And talent managers, they speak a certain way, especially, I mean, if they're talking to their clients and if they're talking to anybody that they're trying to get a deal done for. I mean, block and tackle, that's what talent managers do. Obviously, Scooter's much more than that.
Yeah.
He's a savvy investor, great guy. But at that time, that was my first initial reaction. He's yelling and and I'm like, oh, goddamn. So I walk in there, and what I find out after the meeting, I'm not going to bore you guys with the details, but this was the worst meeting I ever took. I was sweating. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't know what to talk about. And what I find out is the guy that set it all up was trying to be like this grimy middleman. I don't know who he is to this day, so if he's super successful, please don't hate me, but that was just my perception of it.
Yeah.
Basically, he said he knew me really well to Scooter, and he told Scooter that whatever.
Yeah.
Basically, playing them. And so it was the worst meeting I ever took. I'm like, yo, I don't think Scooter's the right fit. You know, I went back to John. I said, I don't know if it makes sense. He was saying a lot of things. I don't think he really understood where I was coming from. So then I get a call from Scooter after we told them no. And I'm like, oh, shit, I'm not answering I can't answer this. I hate confrontation. Scooter Braun, super successful. He calls like John's former boss. Gets on the phone with John and then gets me to take the call again. And I'm in the drive-through with Jackson, who was one of the co-founders of 100 Thieves. And he apologized to me. He was like, hey, look, man, I didn't know what that situation was, or I had no context to what we were talking about. But as I sat down and learned more about your business with your partner, John, I'd really love to be a part of this. I promise you I can take care of you and open a lot of doors that you wouldn't be able to open without my help. And to this day, Scooter has been one of the biggest contributors to our success. Just a great guy.
100%, man. That's so crazy.
And he introduced us to Drake, too.
Yeah,
the next day.
How did that happen?
We're finalizing the deal. He's like, yo, you know who would love this? I got a friend in hip-hop who would love this. I'm like, who's that? He's like, Drake. He calls up Drake's manager, Future, in the room with us, in our tiny 400-square-foot bedroom, which was our office for our leadership team.
It's on speakerphone, you hear,
we didn't have it on speaker. He's like, all right, you're going to come by tomorrow? The next day, Drake's manager, Future, was in our living room, and we pitched him on the business. And then a couple months later, we went and met Drake at his house, told him more about 100 Thieves, and it was a wrap.
Damn. That when you dropped that picture, I was just like, I mean, I knew about it already, but everyone's reaction was just like so iconic.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tough too because Drake was on tour at that time, so we took a lot of we tried really hard to get in front of him. I mean, he's busy. He doesn't know me that well. He just knows a little bit about the business. He loves gaming. I mean, I'd be lying to you if I told you we were really close because we're not. You know, we've spoken over DMs a couple times over the years. But him and Future both still contribute from like a creative level. Our board meetings like 4 times a year. But I was just honored and just over the moon with the fact that he fucked with 100 Thieves just a sliver, just enough to be like, all right, I'm gonna throw some cash at this. And it was a good amount of money, and I met with him twice. It was awesome, man.
That's so cool.
I'm like, it sucks too because I don't want to go up to the guy and be like, yo, I'm your biggest fan. But that dude got me through college,
How difficult is that, right? Because obviously there's levels of success and levels of popularity, and obviously you have like a massive, fan base, but he's got a massive, massive fan base. So you don't want to approach a person that you admire and say, yo, I admire you. Because then you're uncool or you're...
Exactly. Because if somebody comes up to me and starts like, wide-eyed, drooling over me, I'm just like... It's this weird psychology. I'm like, great to meet you, man. Pleasure, and I'm on my way. So I didn't want to do that. It was I was so nervous meeting him, and I don't even know if I was putting sentences together. And it's tough too, like I said, because his soundtrack reminds me of so many things. His discography of me in high school, just struggling with shit, college, dealing with my mom, like. Man, it was crazy.
Got you through some times.
Yeah, bro, it got me through some time. So to finally meet this guy, have him invest in our company. One of the best days of my life.
So tell me about 100 Thieves. What are you guys doing in the future? I mean, obviously don't tell me what you got, but what are some of the industry thoughts that you have about where your position is in this space?
Yeah, so I think what's really important for us is just to continue to push the boundaries of what it means to be an entertainment company in gaming. I feel as if there is a lot of narrow-mindedness in esports because if you do anything other than competition, which teams haven't traditionally done, or that's always what they've done, is just compete. There's this negative connotation and stigma around your brand. And so people give us a hard time about slinging apparel and making videos with creators, but now everybody's trying to do it. And obviously we started that with Optic, and FaZe Clan did it really, really well before too. So that was the model, like let's go do this as well as we can. And build something special.
What's worse about the space right now is that they get mad at you, at me, at FaZe, and they just get mad at the fact that they're not just a sports team. Everybody's out here trying to be the Cowboys, but nobody's thinking, it's like, I want to be the Cowboys, I want to be HBO, and I also want to be Supreme.
Yeah, you can't afford to be the Cowboys in esports. The business model doesn't work yet. I mean, I might one day, but look, I respect a lot of people that work in esports. I mean, I don't mean to sound like I'm on my high horse. I mean, you and I feel like with a lot of the teams that give us grief, besides maybe 1 or 2 outliers, they were really coming up on League of Legends and Counter-Strike where we came up in console and we were always doing content differently. And so I feel like us coming in, I hope they understand that the majority of people that I've seen or work with, I do have respect for. But I'm proud of the business that we've built, and I'm never going to be apologetic for creating something that has become a really great business. I mean, we're going to be making some announcements at the end of the year. I think the industry is going to turn their head.
Yeah, you should, and you should be proud of that. More importantly, any single time that somebody tells you that you're only a hoodie and you haven't won any championships, just remind them the amount of championships that you won at Optic.
Well, and then we won multiple championships on our teams.
That's what I'm saying.
We won 2 majors of Call of Duty. We won multiple Fortnite tournaments. I mean, people might not count those or whatever that case may be. Won this Valorant tournament, First Strike, a major right there. We've only been around for 4 years. We're not even 4. We're 3 years in 4 months.
Yeah.
And people are talking about, yo, why have you won a championship? You know how hard it is to win in League of Legends when I got these teams spending $8 million on a roster in a year?
Yeah.
Bro, they can't, and that's not even including buyouts. I'm like, yo, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
What do you want? Like, truly, what do you want?
Yeah, you're actually.
I feel like Ryan Gosling in The Notebook. Hold on, keep the cameras going because I'm gonna keep going. You guys don't understand. I mean, Hector understands. You don't understand how hard it is to win in esports. You come in. We came in January of 2018. Player contracts and relationships with the owners and the talent managers and the agencies already exist. We had to come in and do right by our first couple players to build relationships with other players. And then get into the Counter-Strike. We had bad luck in 2018 with the Brazilian roster. Things didn't pan out. That would have been like a top 5 team on paper. We had a great Counter-Strike team for a little bit. We came in Call of Duty, won championships. League of Legends, if you're not spending the most money, you ain't gonna win. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So people give us a hard time about not winning, but we've won, and it's only been 3 years. Every other team's been around for 10 years.
10, 15 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Can you give me a break?
Yeah.
Cut me some slack, man.
Can you give you a break is a real question,
this gets me riled up.
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
We try so hard to win. It's not easy.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. Look, you're preaching to the choir. Secondly, I don't like that you feel like you need to explain yourself to anyone. You are who you are. You've done what you've done. Numbers speak for themselves, and anybody that has any sort of issue needs to look inwards, look at their bottom line on that spreadsheet, and say whether or not they're making money on that and how much is going out the window. And if it doesn't look anything like the way that we've been doing it for the longest time, where we are very concentrated on the fact that this is a business and money needs to be made, they're playing the wrong game because they're spending other people's money, and it's so easy. But when you're the one putting your ass on the line with all that cash, investing your personal $300,000 into your team that isn't even a team, where's the respect?
Yeah, bro.
Where is the respect? You know what? On that, I think that is the perfect place to end it. I want to thank you
for... Well, now, these motherfuckers... I'm sorry. These people are going to hate us even more, dude. We just sound like we're in our own little echo chamber.
Good.
I'd like to say, if this part still makes it in, I have a ton of respect for the other teams, but I am jaded in a sense with just the things people say and the perspective that they have of what we're doing. I mean, these teams that will come spew out ignorance on their timelines about what our business is, they should be excited that there's another team that's coming in and reinventing and creating new revenue streams for teams.
For them to take a guide off of.
The first team that exits in a big public way, it's a trickle-down effect. I want FaZe to be worth $1 billion. I want Optic to be worth $1 billion. I want Team Liquid G2. I hope one of y'all sells for $1 billion. Please. No,
that's so
I'm
good.
begging y'all, man.
I'm telling you, I hate when you sort of have to feel like you have to explain yourself to anyone. You literally have a good model. What we started back in 2013 has resonated throughout this entire history. So when you come into the space, a decade after some of these teams, knowing what you know and how to build a team, dude, why do you even care? Like, you have like one of the coolest brands.
Well, I don't care about it on a day-to-day. I mean, you don't see me popping off on Twitter.
No.
But when we start talking about it as close friends, like that shit's that bothers me, but I don't think about it often.
Nah, good. That's going to do it for this episode of Origin Stories. My guest today, obviously, Mr.
You think I could get the water in my mouth all the way from up here?
No, you cannot. And I wouldn't try it. Actually, let's see it. Do it for the...
Well, I don't want to f*** up their set.
Yeah, you're good. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time.
Look at your face.
Yeah, delete that. Get something better. Oh my god. Yes. No. Weighted nade shots.
No, I get it. Wait, explain it.
Let's have a camera right here. So we're going to use this camera right here.
Okay.
Hat on, hat off, whatever you prefer.
Yo, Bill's always slacking. He's not even doing anything.
He ain't doing shit, man. Sneezing?
Oh, yo, there's a cat and a skunk fighting.
No. Oh, don't move, don't move, don't move.
And that was a very exciting and lovely interview with Hex and Nadeshot, and there was so much I wanted to say, and then it ended with a skunk and a cat fighting there.
Yeah, they said in our ear, this video ends with a skunk and a cat fighting, and I was like, that can't be right, and then there it was.
Yeah.
There it was, Ven.
I didn't know what was gonna happen. I was like, are they gonna both get into furry costumes, and we're gonna see like a fight like that, and then, no, it was just in the alley, so there you go. You don't see that every day, that's for sure. But anyway, you know, you and Golden Boy have been working the bomber jacket look, and I was like, I need to get in on that, man. Like, come on.
We just heard from Nadeshot himself about establishing a brand, being more than just an esports team, right?
100%.
So there you go. Go be part of the E3 esports team, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you can go to e3expo.com/shop and get all your E3 merch.
I'd also like to say, as a woman who is 6'2", and Greg Miller can probably appreciate this as well, sleeve length.
Yeah, that's good.
Fantastic, folks. Usually when I put on a jacket, it's like up to here, but this is actually pretty good.
There you go, look at that.
Okay, so it's made for tall people as well. And
sorry, Golden Boy. They'll make a kid's version one day.
Oh, be nice to him. But
not here
at
to
least
defend
he can wear the dad's hat. Yeah,
He does like the dad hat. He can wear the
just
dad hat.
like throw that on the ground over there. But we do have some great merch. So again, e3expo.com/shop. I was like, oh my God, help me out if I don't say it right. Anyway, again, that was a really great inside look at Nadeshot and
100%.
Hex. Yeah.
If I can, like, you know, as somebody who interviews people all the time, and I know you do too, in a longer form podcast interview, I was surprised at how candid that was, how insightful it was. Like, I know about 100 Thieves because so many of our ex-IGN colleagues have gone to 100 Thieves, but I don't know much about Nadeshot. So to hear that, first off, I didn't realize he's a suburb of the Chicago kid, just like myself. DuPage County, Glen Ellen represent. But on top of that, you know, his journey, right? I mean, talking about having to take testosterone shots.
I know,
so
super
open,
candid.
Talking about being depressed, right? Leaving his team before he started 100 Thieves. Like, that's all a fascinating journey. And it's, you know, as you continue to see 100 Thieves blow up, that's awesome.
Yeah, I absolutely just loved how candid they were with each other. They're obviously like very close friends. And I think Hex said at the beginning, like, I've interviewed you so many times, I don't even know what to say to you right now. And then he's like, what are 3 ways that you would describe yourself? What are 3 ways you describe 100 Thieves? They were just having a good time, so super fun. But anyways, so games have changed so much over the years by becoming more inclusive and representative of their player bases, but there's still more work to be done in this space. Let's discuss how we can make games more inclusive.
Okay.
Yay!
I think that representation is really one of the biggest things that the gaming industry needs to tackle.
The more diversity we have in the industry, the more voices we have, and that is how you grow something.
There's no one type of gamer. There's no one type of gamer that looks the same either.
Bringing in people from different backgrounds makes the place generally more interesting.
Like, I have no problem like stepping into the shoes of, you know, of Nathan Drake or like some other like, you know, white male protagonist. But, you know, just realizing eventually, like, wait a minute, nobody is being asked to step into my shoes. What's up with that?
I want you to be able, when you pick up most games, that you see yourself in some way in those games.
The areas that you don't hear about gaming in which Black people are working, like, I think advocating for their visibility and bringing them up is very, very key as well.
When you're developing the game, they're like, okay, we can start adding this Black representation, this, you know, brown representation into the game from the ground up. And then, I mean, that alleviates the problem.
This is where we need to have programs in place to allow more women, more people of color to have a transition into this space and an opportunity to work their way up the ladder like everyone else.
It's gonna make a huge difference on how your games are created. The diversity in the space helps everyone, I promise, I promise, I promise.
And I also think that some of it falls on consumers as well, and us and gamers, in supporting these games and supporting games that are positively showing diversity in our community and representing the gaming community.
Female gamers make up 48%, and you wouldn't even know it by looking from the outside in. So that's what I would want to change.
The next era of gaming is just going to be so sweet, and I am super excited about it. We are definitely heading in that direction, but I can't wait until everyone is part of it and everyone has great ideas and everyone just feels like they belong in the community, and it's just going to be a great time when that happens.
All right, well, next up, we're going to be talking about Freedom Games. Before, I get into the whole production bit, I just want to say, one, follow Freedom Games on Twitter. Just did that. Also, this next game, follow them on Twitter, too. They seem like incredible people. Because here's the deal. They want you to believe, Freedom Games, that in 2021, farming is fun, especially when the livestock are robot chickens and cows, and the crops are gene spliced with alien freaking material. So the question is, do you have what it takes to build a thriving farm on an alien planet? Here's one lonely outpost so you can see for yourself.
IGN Summer of Gaming has officially partnered with the ESA for E3 2021. IGN Summer of Gaming is now all summer long. From major press conferences and announcements at E3 2021 to the IGN Expo with exclusive gameplay and reveals to exciting first looks at the hottest new games and in-depth developer interviews, IGN Summer of Gaming has it all. IGN Summer of Gaming begins right now.
Crazy to think about it now, like a dream dinner after we've all sort of been stuck inside for so long. I'd stack the deck with a few friends of my golden boy. I mean, I just, yeah, would have to have him at the table.
I'd probably invite Pokimane.
Valkyrie, just because she's a boss.
Pokimane and Valkyrie, two amazing women that have done so much for the industry and so much for women.
But I gotta bring all the voice actors from my favorite video games. Boy. The dude who says boy and the kid who plays the boy.
How could you not invite Keanu Reeves?
Vin Diesel or Henry Cavill.
Little Richard, if we could get him back.
Megan Thee Stallion, T-Pain. You know, some celebrity gamers on there too, you know, to just spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, I say Michael Jordan. Bring him in. You know, I don't know if he likes this kind of stuff, but we'll get him there.
I'd have to stack it with a few of our most out there visionaries, right?
Todd Howard, Jade Raymond,
Corey Barlog, Major Nelson,
Amy Hennig,
Ed Boon,
Neil Druckmann.
Kojima would be at the table.
Have to invite Hideo Kojima.
He's always posting really awesome meals on social media.
Does he use his fork in the left hand or the right hand, or actually does he use his telekinesis to just magic the food into his mouth? You know what I mean?
My ideal dinner at E3 would just be a one-on-one sit down with Ken Levine.
Bioshock Infinite is one of my favorite games of all time, so I would love to talk to him about it.
And I just want to know what he's doing now.
I would bring the entirety of Nintendo.
Oh man, Miyamoto-san, I would say.
Miyamoto's there. He's eating a lot of popcorn chicken.
I think Reggie.
You don't even work at Nintendo anymore, and I gotta bring Reggie.
I think his entire story is phenomenal.
You know when you see CEOs and you're like, you look a little stiff, right? No, I feel like he would be a good person to have a beer with.
Of course, there are so many luminaries in the games industry that I want to meet, but like, I want to party with QA.
I'd actually extend that to everyone.
No, I would bring everybody. This is for us. We're all eating from the gaming entree that is E3. So yeah, you're all invited to my dinner. If y'all can afford $75,000 a plate.
I think it's safe to say that we would all like to have a lunch or a dinner with Miyamoto and pick his brain about video games. How incredible would that be? But folks, you know, in the games that we love, our favorite characters are brought to life by real people using real motivation to give us a realistic look at the story. And while some of the faces of gaming voiceover are relatively unknown, their resumes and body of work over time speak for themselves. So our Voices of E3 panel will discuss the life of a real-life voice actor in a virtual world.
And here we are for the Wonder Women and Gaming panel with some incredible women in the industry. I'm so excited to be moderating this. I'm so excited to call most of them friends, all of them friends, right? Some of us are newer friends, but we're all friends.
Which one of us isn't a friend? I'm
I know,
who didn't make the cut, y'all? Who did not make the cut? No,
You're all friends. We're all friends. All right, let me jump in because we have a lot to talk about, and I'm so excited to pick all your brains and get us flowing and get us moving. So let me introduce the wonderful women of this panel. Oh, I guess I should say what my name is. I'm Kritzia Bajos. I'm also a voice actress, on-camera actress. Yes, part of What the Vox with these wonderful women. But enough about me. Let's get to the women here in the panel. We've got Courtney Taylor Callie-Born, most famous for Jack in Mass Effect, Ada Wong in Resident Evil, Soul Survivor for Fallout 4, passionate about activism. She co-founded the online community of Nerds Vote. Amazing badass all around. We love you, Courtney Taylor. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Anjali Bhamani, I have to say specifically, she is known as the international superstar Anjali.
Goodness.
Well, you know, that's what was requested.
It's a super spy.
Sorry, super spy. So even better.
But I'll take superstar. I mean, either way.
Superstar, super spy. Why can't we have both? Why can't we have both?
Sure.
She's graced the stages of Broadway, has illuminated your televisions in shows like Modern Family, Marvel's Runaways, Grace and Frankie, and one of my favorite shows of all time, probably the best show, arguably for me, is The Sopranos, among many, many, many others. In gaming, she's most known as Symmetra in Overwatch and Rampart in Apex Legends. Anjali, hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
And we're moving over to multilingual, 5 languages, y'all. Carolina Rabasa, Colombiana. 4. I saw 5, a little bit of French. Don't humble yourself.
Oh, I make it up. Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. Colombiana dancer, actor for screen and games, most known for her roles in Overwatch as Sombra, Raisin, Valorant, and many recurring characters for Victor and Valentino, among many other shows. Guys, the lists are too long here. I'm just giving you guys some nice spicy tidbits here. But Carolina Rabasa, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And Jennifer Hale, actor, singer, Matrix revealer, podcast host, passionate advocate for financial freedom, Guinness World Record holder for her incredible resume of video games, including Femme Chef in Mass Effect. It gives me goosebumps even just saying Femme Chef. I still, and I'll talk to you about that Twitter post that I love so much. And Ash from Overwatch, among a ridiculous amount of others, y'all. Jennifer Hale. That was really well.
I know, we were all ready for that.
And you closed right at the perfect time. I feel like a maestro. Okay, Wonder Woman in voice gaming. Here we go. Let's talk about the stuff that we've been seeing. It's 2021, y'all. Lots of changes have been happening. Obviously, we've had a bit of a Paramount year last year with a lot of stuff happening and changed a lot of the landscape, just a tiny tad bit. So, our industry especially has been at the forefront of, we've gotten a lot of stuff done. Gaming has not stopped. In fact, it's sped through these years and become bigger than it already was. So with that being said, I want to ask you all, what recent changes in this industry are you happy about so far? And what would you like to see about what happens in the future? What are you pleased about the changes that you've seen most recently? And what would you like to see more of moving forward?
Representation. Yeah. Yep. Super happy with the levels of representation I'm seeing out there and I want more of it. And more access, just a wider playing field.
I think it's been so important to see all people represented. I love that, casting is really going in the direction of getting the people who are actually the ones, getting the LGBT community to tell their stories, to get, when I started, there was a lot of really bad accents because there wasn't a huge pool of us to choose from. And now it's great to both, I think, from an acting perspective and also a directing perspective, that you're getting people who it is their stories to tell. It is their, mother tongue or their mother countries. And so they have, these deep roots. And as actors, we're not worrying about, maybe necessarily falling out of an accent that we don't really do.
I think to piggyback on that, for me, it's not just the representation, which is exciting in and of itself. The particular stories that are being told are so much more complex and have been over the last few years, that it's no longer all about any one characteristic of someone being the entire focus of their story. It's no longer about the particular culture or about the particular gender or about the particular sexual orientation. Everybody is a sum of these incredibly unique parts that make their story interesting. And so it's become even more inclusive than representative, because everybody can find a hero or a story that they can identify with on some level. It doesn't have to be necessarily, oh, she looks exactly like me, or she comes from my culture, or anything like that, so much as it can be any number of things. It can be emotional complexity. It can be particular plot points. It can be all sorts of things. I think the storytelling has really advanced tremendously. And games are now epic, long movies that the player gets to be a part of.
I love this. Yeah, it is a very exciting time in gaming. Gato, did you have anything to add, or
No, I feel like they've hit it all.
Yeah.
Well, there's one other thing though, too, that I'm really excited about, is that we're also starting to get scripts in advance from time to time.
Yes.
So I feel like, we're doing less what I call the standing long jump, where you just drop in and jump as far as you can. So that's really exciting. I feel like we're starting to, be able to make, as voice actors, we don't get the rehearsal time, we don't get the collaboration time, that you might get working on a play, or starting up a television show, things like that. And I'm just so excited to be able to have some time with the script, to be able to make deep decisions on who the character is, and I'm really thrilled that there's the value of that is starting to be recognized.
I feel like also the relationship between the actors and the developers has become closer in recent years. Like, I've definitely had more experiences where there is an active conversation going on, and and that the voice directors in sessions are so giving and so excited to try to really connect and figure out what the best way to pull the story out of a person is, rather than something that is prescriptive, or like you say, standing long jump situation where it's like, just go, give me 3 and go. And that's the fun part of this, is that collaboration where we're all getting to be a part of it, and that we're all cogs in the whole wheel together, rather than completely separate.
Yeah. And sometimes they even let us go to the companies, and we get to see people in their natural habitat doing the work, which is so incredible, because the more that I feel like I can talk about the process that goes on behind it, and give the love to the developers, the painters, the people who are like, not just the writers that we come into contact with, but the people who are doing all of the beautiful visuals and the music, the composing, the sound design, all that kind of stuff. I've only recently gotten to do that, and it has enriched my whole understanding of the process for everyone, as well as being able to speak more knowledgeably about it and talk about how great these things are, that everybody's putting all this blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
All these blood, sweat, and tears.
Connected to what Andra was saying about like getting to talk to the developers, or them caring to represent us properly. I think that sure, there were a lot of Latinos in video games, but they were always the drug dealers and the illegal immigrants. And, we auditioned for the prostitutes and the wives, or the mobster wives. And, that I think that now it's not that there is more representation, and that we are being, they are casting appropriately, but that they care to really do their research and do a positive portrayal of it. And I'm working on a video game now where I play a character of Hispanic descent, and they've cared to ask questions about my personal experience, so that it is more specific, and it isn't just like, well, they kind of are all the same, when we're like 26 different countries in Central and South America. So,
Or also, there was a time, and it still happens occasionally, I'm sad to say, but there was a time when they would just assume, oh, you're Indian, you know all the Indian things and all the Indian languages. And I'm like, let's have a moment about that, because that's not true. I speak Spanish better than any of those. So now they're actually bringing in experts to be the experts, so that we can do the job that we were asked to do.
You know what? I have a question for Jennifer. There was in the beginning of, was it this year, this past, or 2020? But you had the reaction on Twitter to the trailer, right? And I heard in another interview that you were unsure if to record your very real and authentic reaction and post it on Twitter. It's been a very long road, and I think it was absolutely valid. But why do you feel that you were hesitant in that space, in that moment?
Oh my God. Well, it was a super personal thing, and I was ugly crying like a baby. So that gave me a little hesitation. But I mean, what happened? I didn't expect it. It completely took me by surprise. And I didn't even really understand why I had the reaction I had until somebody on Twitter pointed out, they were like, this is what representation looks like. And I went, oh my God. Oh my God. Like I've been in this business for a while, and I've conditioned myself to accept a certain status quo and not to expect much outside of that, because to do so is to create an enormous amount of frustration and discontent, and those aren't productive states for me. So I've just put a cap on all that. And it's like, when all the things I really wanted to see happened that I never expected to happen, just number one, being seen, being represented, because all the marketing materials, most all of them, early on in the life of Mass Effect were broshep. There was a little bit of femshep, but it was not much until like when Mass Effect 3 came out and femshep was on the box. That was just like a huge moment. I was just over the moon with that. I, in fact, stood on a table at a GameStop at midnight and called out Casey Hudson, thanking him, and he was mortified. But it was. So when I saw that, yeah, something in my gut went, share this. And I was like, what? But I listened to my gut. I don't argue with it. But I was like, oh my God. And I took my phone. I was like, okay, I'm going to share this in my response. And this thing happened. And I think I'm glad I did, because it certainly gave permission for other people to ugly cry if they need to. And also it seemed to have touched a chord, which I'm happy about. That's cool. Yeah.
I feel like that was a good Wonder Woman moment for you. I feel like we're told, oh, don't show too emotion. I mean, I know we're getting a little bit more open with all of that stuff, but I thought that was a beautiful moment of like, hey, if I were a guy, would I hesitate on saying exactly how I feel or the moments that are coming up at this? I don't know. Maybe depends on the person, but
and also I think it yeah, and it opened up like I have to live in a certain amount of denial as a woman in the industry who's been in the industry for a long time. I've been in this business since I was a teenager. And there's all kinds of conduct that I have just shoved under the table, just smiled through. And because you do, if you want to keep working, you're good to work with. End of conversation. And, nothing too crazy. You can smart enough, you get yourself out of those situations. But to now be living in a time where it's different. Oh, it's amazing.
I feel like that was a great moment of that. Everything you're saying, it did feel like a capping, like just your cup runneth over. You're like, everything I've been holding on to, all the drops of water for over 2 decades. It's like, and I'm done.
Oh no, they're still here. There's more.
They're still here. There's more. Maybe we've lowered the cup a little bit. We've got a little bit more to fill.
Oh, it was substantial. Just because here's what I know. like, and part of why we are the collective that we are is to shed more light on voice actors, on women in gaming, on underrepresented peoples and inclusion. And I know that there's going to come a time in the not too distant future when voice actors are seen and voice actors are respected, not just by fans, but by corporations as well. I know it's going to come. I may or may not be here to see it, but I will always own my piece of getting there. Always.
Yeah. Yeah. Moment, please.
And we see it. I'm not a gamer, but I see the response female gamers have when they come up to us and thank us and tell them they tell us how those characters have affected them. And so you've seen it from the inside gen, and I'm seeing it from the ones who play and go, I've tried to play for years, and all I have are male characters that I can play that I don't resonate with. And now they get it and they thank us for it. And I didn't create these characters, but we infuse them with life, and we see it with the gamers.
I know I have to tie this up, so I'm going to do a really quick lightning round. You all have given some gems, and I so appreciate your time and all of your super thoughtful answers and your energy. So I'm going to do a really quick lightning round in one sentence. Tell me, Anj, you don't have to be so scared.
I'm always scared. I'm just kidding.
Wonder Women in voice acting or in gaming mean to you? Wonder Women in gaming. What does that mean to you? One sentence. How do we culminate that? Courtney.
Me first.
Okay.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready. Here I go. It means being the pillar of support that everyone needs in the community. It means a rising tide, lifting all boats, helping other women in this business, but also just helping everyone and being an example of what collaboration can look like.
What she said. Can I just say that?
In your own way?
Very similarly. Climbing up the ladder, there is no ceiling. And reaching back down and pulling people up along with you to tell new and exciting stories and collaborate as much as possible. You know, bringing the collaboration together more and more and more, I think, is the big thing.
Good.
That wasn't a really good grammatical sentence.
No, but you know what? The feeling is all there, and that's what matters. I feel it here. Gato?
It means women that are so incredibly different. It means these characters that can be moms, these characters that can be nurses, these characters that they're not just sexy ladies running around with guns being badasses. We're all badasses in such a different way. And it can be soft and it can be nurturing and it can be sensual and it can be all of the things. So like encompassing this idea that it is way bigger than we can imagine.
Oh, I love it. Jennifer, close us out.
All right. What the Vox, Wonder Women in Gaming. Because we're here because it's time to change the world. We're linking arms because all boats rise together. No grand act of the universe is coming to do this for us. We are the ones we've been waiting for, and we're here and ready.
Got chills? Anybody else got chills from that lightning round? Thank you. Thank you so very much. And I can't
Thank you.
My pleasure. This has been a joy, an absolute joy. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for your time. Thank you to E3. Thank you for everybody else. Amber, Chris, Brian for making this happen today. Yes, thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day, y'all. Wonder Woman in Gaming. Out. Let's do it.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Jennifer Hale
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to day 3 of E3 here at Gamereactor. We of course have been showing the E3 schedule all day long. Not a lot of highlights, I have to say, but we're coming up on the biggie of the day, hopefully, fingers crossed, and that is the Capcom Showcase. So before we get to see that, we are, as tradition dictates, going to have a little chat with our panel. So let's bring them in now and talk to Ben, Kieran, and Eirik. First of all, you pumped You ready for this? You think Capcom is gonna drop the bomb? Win E3?
We've got measured expectations. We were just saying before this. I think Capcom's outlined a lot of what they're going to be talking about, and after the Square Enix show, was it yesterday? Oh, my mind's a mess at the moment. But my expectations are low following that show. So, yeah, a little bit excited, but not too excited.
Okay. Kind of draining my energy here. Eric, you're gonna...
Oh, okay.
You're gonna pump me up?
But, oh, damn it. Do I have to do that? That's
To lie to you, that's
yeah. I'm kind of expecting this to be fairly similar to Square Enix's conference, because we already know about most of the games they're about to show. Maybe we'll get some interesting DLC to Resident Evil Village, learn more about Resident Evil Reverse, whoop-de-doo, stuff like that. But to get you hyped, Dory, maybe we'll get the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah. Your laugh hurts me and wounds me. Ben, come on, you can do better.
Good luck, Ben.
I'll be honest. I don't know. I think just in general, I'm going to go and say that day 3 of E3 2021 has been pretty trash, just across the board. There's been very little reason to be excited for today. And yeah, I need something. I need something today that, to boost my energy. But I'm not sure this is going to be it. I love Resident Evil Village. I really enjoyed that game. I have some quite conflicting opinions that clashed with various other editors. I liked the game. Some of the people didn't. And I want to see more about this game, but I really don't know what they're going to show. I mean, how old's Resident Evil Village at this point? Like nearly 6 weeks old? It seems strange to get a major reveal about it. So I don't know what this is going to be. And then, we look at Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2, which is all supposed to be showing up. And I half expect this to be an announcement about an update for Monster Hunter Rise. Some more monsters coming to the game, some more creatures to go and hunt, etc. Maybe a new trailer for Monster Hunter Stories. But I don't think this is going to be anything game-changing. I think this is going to be very much what it says on the tin. And it's going to be done and dusted within half an hour, and that's that. As you were saying before, Dory, Razor's coming up after this. They need to get Capcom done so they can go straight to Razor. So
yeah, and
I can't expect this to be much more.
And I mean, the thing is, like, Razor is set to start half an hour after Capcom, which means that Capcom won't even be a full half hour, because they need to go into Capcom and to come out of Capcom, do a little wrap up, introduce Razor, and go over to Razor. So I mean, this is going to be short. 15, 20 minutes. But I will say, what I think and hope for, deep in my heart, deep in my loins, what I hope for Resident Evil Village is a VR version. And VR version coming to PC. So that's what I'm hoping for. Not too psyched on the Monster Hunter games, but I will call this show a success if they give me that, Village is coming to VR. Sometime in the future. It doesn't have to be like right now. It can be.
So if it doesn't meet that criteria, it's not a success.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. There's still stuff they can do. I mean,
Resident Evil 4 VR. You're not excited about that one?
Nah. The thing is, like, I can't really play VR games that much due to stuff with my eyes. But I would risk it. I would risk the headache to dip into Village for a little bit. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see it. That's one thing for certain. I mean, I look at the list of games that they told us that are already coming, and I'd like to see something unexpected hit for each one of them. I look at the past E3 that we've had, and I think about the announcements that we've got and what they've been, and I struggle to think that this is going to be any different. That's my main issue. Maybe that's me being skeptical, but from the various other presentations we've had, I find it difficult to believe that we're going to come into this Capcom show and they're going to release, they're going to talk about, the next big thing coming to the Resident Evil franchise or whatever. I just don't see it happening, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Not hugely excited.
Wait, can somebody say something that they know that I will truly disagree with? I have a segue that I want to do. For example,
I really love the Koch Media show.
Objection. Yeah, you see how that
God
worked
damn
out
it.
because I think the Great Ace Attorney is going to be announced for the West. Like we'll get a date. Yeah.
It has been announced, hasn't it? The collection.
I mean, we don't have a date, right? I mean, it's been.
We do have a date.
God.
Let's have a look. I'm sure we
don't
do.
invite editors on your show, Dory, when you're going to say something wrong.
God
damn it.
You're gonna get fact checked.
Have a little drink.
Have a quick look.
Yeah, well, you're fact checking that. What about? Do we have a release date for when Rise is coming to PC? Is that a thing we have yet? Because if not, maybe we get that.
Yeah, no, that's one thing I was thinking as well. It's 2022, just kind of rough release window. So that'll be interesting to find out.
Yeah.
I'm still quite a distance off, actually, thinking about it.
How about? I mean, it's been quite a while since we've gotten Street Fighter. Do you think maybe they'll tease an upcoming Street Fighter, or are they going to show some new stuff coming to Street Fighter 5? Or just completely not do anything?
I'm in a belief that we're not going to get any Street Fighter at all. I think if we were going to get a new Street Fighter, I mean, granted, this could be a real surprise release, and it could blow us away, right? But I tend to find that if they had a new Street Fighter planned, they would have put in what's coming for this show and a big reveal. Make sure to stay tuned for that. Something to really get us engaged, because right now these 4 titles they put there are all things we're expecting. And yeah, if they do announce a new Street Fighter, great. We've got something big to talk about, which is fantastic. I just don't think it's going to happen. I also don't think we're going to get any Street Fighter at all, because if they had something Street Fighter to talk about, I think they would have put it in that list as well, and they didn't. So I think it's going to be these 4 games, maybe to push something really minor here and there, and then we're going to move on, and that's going to be Capcom's showcase for this E3. And
yeah,
that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, we do have Monster Hunter Rise on PC scheduled for 2022, so we might see a little bit more there, and a date, like a firm date. Let me check the.
Yeah, can I just jump in
yes.
and say, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is the 27th of July, 2021. So we do have a date for that, but it'll just be probably more trailer footage, gameplay, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Here's where I wish I had more of a legal-minded brain, so I could somehow argue myself out of that one. But you got me. Okay, let's move on to the dream scenarios that we put forth in the article on Gamereactor yesterday. A brand new Mega Man title.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down. I can't remember what the last Mega Man title was. Let me just have a look.
11.
I'm sure it was 11. Mega Man 11, but what year was it?
8.
Are we overdue one?
I mean, either way, a new Mega Man would be pretty great.
Or a new collection. They've done these kind of like legacy collections where they put all the older titles together. So maybe we could have a collection of some of the more recent Mega Man titles compiled together.
What would you think, though, if they did the Square Enix approach, where it was like, oh, you're going to get all these first 6 Mega Man games, but it's in a bundle for mobile? What would you think about that?
I would be disgusted. Yeah, terrible.
I mean, I would be maybe okay with it if they also put it into the Capcom Arcade Stadium. That's what it's called? Yeah, Capcom Arcade Stadium. I mean, we might see some more titles coming there. I don't even know if the Mega Man titles are there already, but
were they arcade games? I don't know. I don't know my.
No, the Arcade Stadium collection where you can get like old school Capcom games.
But I
It's-
thought they were old school Capcom arcade games.
Are they only arcade games?
I think they originated in the arcades, but they might have had like ports to other consoles along the way. So if Mega Man's console only, it's probably not going to show up there.
Yeah, I've always been confused about exactly how the Capcom Arcade Stadium works, because it's
They kind of release packs, like kind of incrementally.
Yeah, exactly.
Of different games or genres. So maybe we could see like another kind of selection of games that are going to arrive on the service that people can add to their libraries.
Yeah, but I thought that they just called it Arcade Stadium because that it was set up like an arcade machine where you could play the old titles, but they weren't locked into that it was only arcade titles. But then again, like I said, that collection has always confused me how it kind of works.
No, I'm pretty sure they are
with game
arcade ones.
DLC packs and stuff like that.
You haven't seen Dead Rising for a while?
This is true.
That would be cool.
Yeah, what
What's
studio?
The last major Dead Rising we got would have been the launch Xbox One version, right?
No, Dead Rising
Dead
4.
Rising 3.
Dead Rising
Have I
4.
missed one entirely?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, how am I like the resident Capcom expert all of a sudden?
Because you got the computer in front of you and you're googling.
But no, one thing I kind of hoped and dreamed for was like a new collection for the Dead Rising games. Like we had one back on the PS4 and Xbox One, which compiled together the first one, the second one, and I think there's some DLC for the second one or something like that.
It was a standalone for the second one where you played as Frank. What was that for? The second one? Yeah.
So maybe like 3 and 4 could be upscaled for next gen consoles. Just a wild dream, a wild prediction.
Yeah, 4K, 120 hertz.
Yeah.
I always get
There's
wildly
also-
confused. Oh, sorry, Harry, carry on.
No, Ben.
I was just gonna say that I get wildly confused between Dead Rising and Left 4 Dead. Was Dead Rising one of the DLCs, the one where you go into like I can't remember whether it was a casino or a shopping center. That was one.
That is
Dead
Dead
Rising
Rising.
1.
Was it?
2,
Was it?
3, 4.
Right.
That's the premise.
Yeah, they put you in this giant shopping center, so you can find all these things to create weapons with. But yeah,
you can,
a new Dead Rising, or like you said, a remaster pack come for the new gen consoles, or a free, update for the new gen consoles.
My ultimate dream would be the Okami sequel that we never got, but it'll never happen.
That attitude.
That's like, it's like my favorite game. Well, one of my favorite games ever, and it never got like a sequel or anything like that. That's published by Capcom, so it's worthy of a mention.
You never know. Maybe tonight's the night.
How long did that game come out? Like 15 years, I think. Yeah, maybe.
It's when you think about Capcom, it's an interesting publisher because it has like a defined brand of really big titles, and then everything else seems to be really minor. We look at Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, these sort of things, and they're all really big titles and they're really exciting. We get a new one, Monster Hunter as well being that. And then we talk about the other stuff, and they're all really, they're really iconic arcade games and arcade series, but they never seem to draw the attention to the degree that it's more larger franchises do. It's hard to sit here and be excited for all these different things when you know that majority of these things aren't going to show up. Like if they had a Devil May Cry on the works, a new one, it'd be mentioned. It's similar to the Street Fighter. There'd be teasers that we're going to be getting something new or something like that. I mean, this might be a situation, right, where we get another repeat of The Elder Scrolls 6, where right at the end, you get a trailer that comes up and says, oh, basically, well, we're working on it. But I don't think that's something we're going to be seeing again, considering the impact it sort of had for Bethesda. Like, I don't really know. To this day, I still don't think that was a very good decision to do that, because 2 years down the line, they still have nothing to show, or 3 years down the line, they still have nothing to show.
No, and I mean,
So I can't imagine that's going to happen.
Yeah, and the only reason that they did that at that time was because they were on their third year of having their own conference, and they're like, oh shit, we gotta fill all this time. We have to say something about it, especially with, people weren't that psyched with Fallout 76. So they're like, oh shit, we gotta let them know we're actually working on stuff they want.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I just thought of something as well, Ben, when you were mentioning the classic arcade games. Do you think we could see like a new kind of remaster like Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection? You know, where they've kind of brought one of the classic arcade franchises from the dead and brought it to the modern day.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting. You know, just anything. I think, at least for me, I think this show just needs to be a little bit more than what they've stated is going to be coming, and that's all that it needs to be really for me. We're not expecting a redo of Xbox. I just don't want another Square Enix where it just feels thoroughly disappointing because they don't really have much to show. Like, obviously Square had Guardians of the Galaxy, which was great. We talked about that loads yesterday. But aside from that, there wasn't really much to draw people in from Square's presentation. And I'm just hoping that Capcom doesn't fall into the same situation tonight. Although
I think with a limited time period, like what can they do? As
Yeah,
we've said,
they've already kind of guarded themselves against that by having a way shorter presentation. So, you know, it's not going to feel, you know, like it drags on without giving you what you want to see. The question is it going to be over and done with in a very short time and not give you anything to be excited for?
Did we see new trailers for Monster Hunter Stories 2 in an earlier conference? I think it was the Summer Game.
Yeah, in
Game
the
Fest.
Summer Game Fest, we got to see a little bit of a trailer for.
What's the chances that we're going to see that exact trailer again?
Oh no! Please don't.
We saw that happen before.
It happened like 3 times with Hello Neighbor this conference, like with this show alone. Like,
I mean, Hello Neighbor showed the same trailer. No, it wasn't the exact same trailer all 3 times.
it wasn't the exact same trailer. Yeah, great.
No. I mean,
10 seconds of different
together,
footage.
it could be one trailer. They've just sliced it up.
But okay, we have some time to fill. I mean, in retrospect, maybe having a half an hour pre-show for a half an hour show was a little bit ambitious. But let's talk a little bit about E3 Day 3, just in a whole, because
I can talk about Capcom if you want, because
nope,
we're
don't be so
kind of
quiet
forgetting that. I'm a gentleman. I'll let you guys talk. But because we know Capcom has things in store, the question is if they're willing to show them off right now, including Pragmata, the PlayStation exclusive. Because I think that was the game that's set for either 2022 or 2023. It's the reason why we're kind of skeptical, at least I am, is because they're putting so much focus on Resident Evil Village and the Monster Hunter games right now. But they have Pragmata, they have other, let's just stay vague here, other Resident Evil games in development. They have the Resident Evil movie, maybe they could show the first trailer from that. They have the Netflix show. They have, again, the Ghosts and Goblins remasters or whatever they call it. And Street Fighter, even if Ono-san left just not even a year ago. So they could finish this off with a real banger if they wanted to. But again, Capcom has never been the kind of company that spreads its PR marketing across a wide variety of games, especially when they already have 3 on the way.
Yeah, we're also being asked here by Alex Coleman in the chat, new Lost Planet. What do you think the possibilities of that are?
Again, remake, maybe. Capcom has seen what kind of success they can do with remakes, and Lost Planet is a concept that could work in today's society. Just look at Back 4 Blood and all those cooperative focused shooters. Polish up that game, and I'm saying that game because I don't want all the games, because quality kinda stagnated to be.
Oh, so which one would you prefer to see remade?
The original one, just because it's. I think it's the darling if you think about it. Just modernize it a bit. Think that will please people. Well, just ask the comments because they mentioned it.
Oh yeah, Alex, let us know which Lost Planet would you like to see if it got. I mean, what do you think is more likely, a remaster or a remake?
With Capcom, I'm kind of feeling remake.
Oh.
Just because of the Resident Evil remakes and stuff like that. Because the only real remaster we've seen from them lately is Ghosts and Goblins, and what was it? I want to say it was Dead Rising, but it was something else. Whatever.
I mean, we recently got
a Mega Man remake with realistic graphics. Just like Mega Man 1.
Yeah, ray traced and with a first person mode.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Make Doom, but in the Mega Man universe. Go with that.
But yeah, regarding today at E3, Dory, Limited Run just did a conference, which I wasn't aware of as well. And they've announced like tons of physical games. I think there's 30 of them. Super Hot being one of them.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool. Axiom Verge 2. Haven. Quite a few names on there. And then there was the indie game show that we saw earlier, me and Ben watched. I think it was only 15 minutes long, but there was some quite interesting looking indies there.
Wasn't too different to Devolver's, to be honest, in sort of what was shown. Like 6 or 7 titles, right?
Yeah, there was just no talking in between. It was just like
just
bam,
like
bam.
Just like a trailer reel.
Yeah, there's a cool looking indie where you play as a paper aeroplane. I thought that was quite interesting. Don't know what the story's going to be like though. And there was a.
Can't wait for that narrative.
Yeah. There was a platformer as well where you play as a cat, which I dubbed as a catformer. I can't remember what was that one called, Ben. It looked quite interesting.
I have it noted down here. It's called. Let me get this right. Extra Galactica, I think its name was. I've misspelled it here, but Extra Alligator, but it wasn't called that because it's to do with space or something.
Yeah, and there's another weird one where you play as a cow as well. I don't know.
I remember that one. That was called Moolander.
Moolander.
I've been trying to think up puns all day about the movies, the Zoolander movies, but it just nothing's clicked yet. So stay tuned.
Yeah, so that's what's been going on. It's been really like kind of low key stuff, but yeah.
Toy Soldiers is back again.
Oh, yeah, Toy Soldiers. Yeah, they showed that as well.
Yeah.
Back in HD.
Did any of you tune in to the Take-Two show earlier today where they announced GTA 6? Just kidding. They announced nothing. It was just a talk.
That would have been a strategy to announce GTA 6 in the middle of a diversity talk. But
speaking of diversity,
yes, we know how to count to 6.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of today's shows have felt more, I want to say more corporate than they have consumer friendly. We had, what do we start the day with as well? Verizon, I want to say?
Verizon, yeah.
Yeah. And we had Intellivision as well.
Yeah, like Verizon I thought was kind of interesting, although it applies way less to us here in Europe than it does in the US, of course. But some of the things, I mean, of course, you have to take corporate talk like that with a grain of salt and kind of listen to like half of it. But
Yeah.
the ideas that they were putting forth with 5G, some of them were pretty damn interesting. With
Yeah,
like,
I mean, absolutely.
like how it can fuel, for example, cloud gaming.
I mean, I think it was a Final Fantasy producer or ex-producer who said that 5G is gonna, or I should say he expects 5G to make consoles obsolete because it'll just make game streaming so capable. So I don't know, maybe it's something we're gonna have to pay attention to. I mean, I know for a fact I live in the middle of nowhere and I barely get 4G, so 5G is decades away from me at this point, at least the way it feels. So it's something we'll have to pay attention to big cities to start with and see how it really impacts that, and then see how it spreads to the rest of the world, I guess.
Yeah. The thing though is, with you living in the, well, if you were living in the US and you were living in the middle of nowhere, then that would be a good thing, because the nanometer wave that they're putting up in the US is worse in cities than it is, you know, out in the wild, because nanometer wave can't penetrate concrete.
Well,
Which
there we have
means,
it. I'm moving to Utah.
so meaning like if you're in a big building, there needs to be an antenna on the roof of the building, and then almost in every room there needs to be not a router, but like a mesh that sends out the signal into every single room, because you can't just have it on the floor, on one place in the floor, because it can't penetrate through the walls. Anyway, a little techie fun. But yeah, yeah. Capcom.
I just remembered the leak we got last year.
Oh.
That included the Dino Crisis remake and Dragon's Dogma 2, Resident Evil Outrage, Pragmata, stuff like that. So they could really end this show with a real banger.
Yeah, Dino Crisis remake. Now that would be...
Yeah.
Even if it was just, you know... I'm picturing it now, okay? If this is correct, call me psychic. It's going to be like a really nice CG shot of a dinosaur, and you're thinking Monster Hunter up until it turns and you see it's a raptor, and then Dino Crisis remake. Yeah, that's how they're going to end the show.
That'd be really cool. I'd retract everything I said if that happened.
Yeah, is there no way to play Dino Crisis games as well, apart from back on the original PlayStation? Because I've never played them.
No, the only real way is, legally, is on the original PlayStation, or you can play it on an emulator.
Even like a kind of a port to the Switch or something like that would be appreciated, but
yeah. Although I have to say, after having tried it a little bit recently for a video that we were planning, the mechanics in that game do not hold up at all. It's one of those games that needs a hefty refresh for modern times.
Is it the tank controls?
Yes. In a shooter with tank control, it's just like, yeah, and the fixed cameras, it didn't work for me, at least, I would say.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed.
A Dino Crisis remake, that's actually starting to get me pumped now. What were those other leaks that you mentioned?
Resident Evil Outrage, Dragon's Dogma 2, Street Fighter 6. Both Dragon's Dogma 2 and I think it was Street Fighter 6 was then set for 2022.
Yeah.
While Outrage was set for this year, so we'll see.
We never mentioned the Resident Evil. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm not saying anything important, so don't bother.
I was going to say, we never mentioned the Resident Evil Revelations 3 supposed leak, which is supposedly a Switch exclusive. So that could be...
Yeah, Nintendo is tomorrow, so that could be a cool tease. Oh, follow the Nintendo Direct tomorrow for more.
Yeah, and then that would fit into the 30-minute schedule, wouldn't it? So
yeah,
maybe
like
that's coming too.
Like a short announcement trailer, and then see it played a little bit in the Direct. Yeah.
I like how we started pretty negative, but now are getting ourselves hyped.
Yeah,
this will be a real disappointing after show if none of this come true.
We're like Icarus. We might be flying too close to the sun right now. We're gonna get burned. But yeah, Alex Coleman says here in the chat, every 5 years they say consoles are dead. Mobiles didn't do it. Streaming didn't do it. People don't want to play on a 6-inch screen. I mean...
I agree.
That's not what cloud gaming is going to do, though, in all fairness.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, Capcom's starting. Capcom's starting.
No, consoles are great. They're not going to die. I'll still be playing consoles.
Yeah, but like, if we can just answer that really quickly. Streaming hasn't done it yet because people don't have the internet to deal with it. Anyway, that's what 5G is supposed to do. Here is Capcom because they're starting now, and I'm going to cut to the show, and I'll see you all in the post-show.
Welcome to the Capcom E3 Showcase. I'm your host, Rachel Querico, aka Seltzer, and I'll be your guide as we walk through the latest releases, news, and updates from Capcom. We'll hear from the Resident Evil Village team, share some news from the world of Monster Hunter, and get the latest on Ace Attorney. Then we'll wrap up with some updates from our friends at Capcom Fighters. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Our first stop today, Resident Evil Village. The Resident Evil franchise continues to pioneer the latest and greatest in survival horror. The team has been blown away by the response to Resident Evil Village, which launched last month. It brought the world another chapter in this decades-long story as the franchise celebrates its 25th anniversary this year. I'm honored to be able to introduce Tsuyoshi Kanda, producer on Resident Evil Village, with a special message for the fans.
Another time.
Bye-bye.
There's nothing to fear.
Where's Rose? She's everything to me.
I think it's time you left things in my hands. Go on, rest now.
Hi everyone, my name is Tsuyoshi Kanda, producer on Resident Evil Village. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank everyone who's played since we launched the game in May. We hope you're enjoying this new chapter in survival horror. As a reminder, everyone who purchases Resident Evil Village will gain free access to our online multiplayer title, Resident Evil Re:Verse, where players go head-to-head with their favorite Resident Evil heroes and bioweapons. I'm now happy to announce that Resident Evil Re:Verse will go live next month across all supported platforms. So head into the fray to celebrate the Resident Evil 25th anniversary.
Thank you, Kanda-san, for that wonderful update. Next up, some long-awaited news from the world of Monster Hunter. Whether it's adventuring alongside monsters or battling them with friends, we've got something for you. First, let's dive into the brand new story-based RPG entry to the series, Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin.
This was his fate.
Red may have been strong and skilled, but against the awesome power of nature, he was merely a man. He never stood a chance.
All around, things just kept getting worse. But I heard that Guardian Ratha had survived and returned to Hekolu Island. I went there to see Red's old monster again. Then, of course, that's when I met you.
You were given Red's kinship stone, and now a Rathalos egg. This is destiny.
This is the legendary monster, Ray's Wing Ratha, the monster with the wings of ruin.
It's said that a beat of its wings can bring about waves of destruction.
Many people believe there's a connection between the strange happenings and the wings of ruin. The pits are appearing everywhere, and they're emitting a strange light.
What's this whole idea of forming kinship with monsters? How do you control them?
It's not about control. Monsters help riders of their own will. And the bonds between monsters and riders are just like your bond with Tsukino.
What kind of power does Ratha really have? Why are all of these pits appearing? And who are those people who want to take Ratha for themselves? All I have are questions.
If there's worry or doubt in your voice, Ratha will become anxious too. He needs to know that you will protect him no matter what.
I can sense the flames of his life force weakening. The burden of such great power is too much for his body to bear.
A voice. Can you hear it?
Riders can bond with monsters. Surely you can groove with fellow humans.
They have the power of kinship. They're friends. They're monsties. Humans carry the strength of everyone they meet. That makes them strong. My friends here taught me that. I believe in the strength of humanity.
Which also carries your progress over to the full game release just a few weeks later on July 9th. That's not the only way to join the hunt. Millions of you made Monster Hunter Rise a huge success earlier this year, and we have even more content coming, including a new collaboration on the Rise. Let's find out more.
Let's go! This is for my fellow hunters!
Rathalos is no runt. Moon's blessing emerge. Get ready. I have a good feeling. What will it be? Moon's blessing emerge.
Nakamura is like my second home. You think you can take on Rondine?
There has never been a better time to be a Monster Hunter fan, with all the new updates to Monster Hunter Rise and the launch of Monster Hunter Stories 2 this summer. We can't wait to hear about your own stories of adventure. Well, that's not the only thing Capcom has in store for us this July. Fans of Phoenix Wright will have new chapters to explore with the release of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. North American and European future attorneys will finally be able to get their hands on the Great Ace Attorney Adventures and the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, which were previously only available in Japan. You'll travel back in time to the late 19th century Japan and London to play as Ryunosuke Naruhodo, Phoenix Wright's ancestor, in this action-packed prequel. Now, let's hear more about the story.
So then, let us unravel this mystery. Welcome to the centre of the world. Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
This country is incredible. I will become a lawyer. I have to.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Who are you? Herlock Sholmes. You must have heard of me.
We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san.
Let us engage in the art of deduction, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, what have we here? It would seem the truth is now tantalizingly close.
The defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Objection! Your testimony completely contradicts the facts.
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage!
You're the best lawyer in the world.
So we have 10 new cases and 8 mini escapades where you can take on the role of a defense attorney. Now, we all want to see some gameplay, right? Let's take a closer first look at 2 gameplay features new to the franchise in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles: Dance of Deduction and Summation Examination.
Hello, I'm Jonathan, Capcom's marketing brand manager for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
Where to?
The Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
The Capcom team is thrilled to present 2 new gameplay features, Dance of Deduction and Summation Examination, coming to the Ace Attorney series.
While investigating to prove your client's innocence, players will come across conspicuous situations that require further examination with the help of Ryunosuke's legal aid Suzato and the brilliance of deduction from Detective Herlock. Herlock will proceed to present his logic and reasoning spectacular, a grandiose yet flawed series of conjectures.
Ryunosuke and Susato will then discuss to correct the flaws in Herlock's deductions. At this point, players will be prompted to search for clues that help identify the errors in the detective's logic and reveal the truth to the mystery. As players present new evidence and observations, Herlock will amend his deductions based on the new information. Upon uncovering the truth, Ryunosuke and Herlock enter into a semi-metaphorical, semi-literal dance that brings them to the conclusion of the dance of deduction.
In courtroom battles, players will attempt to convince 6 jurors of the innocence of their client. Their progress will be displayed and represented by 2 scales of justice, one black, representing a guilty verdict, and one white, representing a not guilty verdict.
Objection!
In summation examination, take the stand to face off against the jurors, all of whom provide explanations as to why they've reached their guilty verdict.
You'll have to identify conflicting statements and sway the jury in your favor. Examine each statement carefully and select 2 contradicting jurors to call out the flaws in their logic.
Objection!
Be ready to provide evidence from the court record to help prove the contradiction in their claims. When you successfully point out one of these contradictions among the jurors, you might just change their minds, too. With a slam of their fist, each juror you persuade will send a fiery ball towards the scales above and literally tip the scales of justice in your favor. Bring each contradiction to light and persuade the jury to help prove your client's innocence.
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage!
This has just been a small taste of the exciting new gameplay features in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are very excited to get this game in the hands of both new fans and diehard fans alike. Thanks for watching.
It already seems like I have a bunch of games to catch up on. There are some exciting new adventures and titles to look forward to. Well, that's a look at the new premieres from Capcom, but what about esports? Let's close out today's showcase with a few words from 2 of the stars of Capcom Fighters, Rob TV and Vicious. They'll tell us what's been going on with Capcom esports, including updates on the Capcom Pro Tour, Intel World Open, Street Fighter League, and all the other content on Capcom Fighters. Over to you guys.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Capcom esports presentation for E3 2021. My name is Vicious, commentator for the Capcom Pro Tour as well as Street Fighter League, here with competitive Street Fighter V player and host extraordinaire, Hollywood, Rob TV. What's going on, Rob?
Oh my goodness, Vicious. Host extraordinaire. That just sounds beautiful. It has a ring to it, and I think that's the perfect word to describe what we have for everyone today. Street Fighter V, Capcom E3, it just feels right, and you feel the electricity in the air. Nice! Nice! What? That was nasty! And there might be some people at home, Vicious, who don't fully know what competitive Street Fighter V is. The long and the short of it is this. We travel all around the world, state to state, country to country, and we try to bring our opponent's life bar from 100 all the way down to 0 and feel pretty goddamn good doing it.
That's right, Rob. If you think you're the best in your region, sign up for Capcom Pro Tour to prove it and become possibly a world champion at Street Fighter V.
The double perfect, the way he looked at the camera.
Yikes! Don't ever expect another man's controller.
So in this year's CPT overall, it's a series of tournaments that have $5,000 on the line for each tournament, but that money alone, that's not what's really at stake here. It's about making it to the granddaddy of them all, Capcom Cup.
Item just reset in grand finals of Capcom Cup.
So behind me, you can see in all of its glory, the Capcom Pro Tour 2021 official stage and set, and that's a place that you are very, very familiar with.
That's right, we take all of our events and broadcast it live from this stage, and we check out all of the top competitors from each and every one of these regions. And speaking of, the Capcom Pro Tour has shaped up a lot. 2021, we have 32 events going on in the Capcom Pro Tour, spanning across 19 different territories. So there's so many opportunities for players from around the world to get that ticket into Capcom Cup this season. I'm absolutely excited because, again, that is a big change from what 2020 was into what we could expect for 2021.
And Mago is your first qualifier for Japan for the Capcom Pro Tour.
Not only can you catch the Capcom Pro Tour live on the Capcom Fighters channel, you can do so on a plethora of platforms. We have it on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Of course, if you don't catch it live, you can also check out the VODs for all the competitive studying you would need to become a successful Street Fighter V player, as well as catching some of the community-focused content that we have on Capcom Fighters. We have No Neutral, the official pre-show of the Capcom Pro Tour. We have sets where we take players from around the world and play off in an exhibition first to 10. Not only that, actually, we do have Street Fighter League that's happened season after season, non-stop action, 6 teams of 3, duke it out in this battle tournament series to see who will walk away with the championship and the $150,000 prize pool.
Street Fighter League is something that you don't want to miss because normally we only have 1v1 content, but now you actually have your teammates at your back and every decision that you make is not just about you anymore.
Look for more news on Street Fighter League later this year.
It's Oki time. What's gonna happen?
Nice.
He checks it. He checks the movement. What's happening?
It's so good.
Let's not forget, the Intel World Opening is happening right now. Top players representing 11 regions around the world are competing for their place in the World Finals happening next month. Be sure to check out the official website for more information, including current standings and broadcast schedule.
To commemorate this event, everyone who logged in during this period will receive an exclusive competitor title and dojo object. You do not want to miss this.
I highly recommend everyone to stay tuned for future Capcom Pro Tour updates on the Capcom Fighters channel.
And again, we've had so many events so far. We started off with the Japan region. We've had a couple of more events going on afterwards, but the action does not stop. In fact, we're going to be continuing off with the Midwest region for the Capcom Pro Tour. I know you're definitely excited about that.
100%. I mean, of course, your boy is from Ohio. Make sure you guys tune in to see the tournament.
You do not want to miss some of the best Street Fighter V players in the world compete head-to-head.
So it's you. I dare you to find better Street Fighter. I dare you.
This is a game about being a world warrior. Capcom Cup tournament play.
Obviously, they got a rivalry.
I'm the best in the world.
This game has changed the lives of so many people here.
Ooh!
Nice.
Oh, the pop-off! That's what I'm talking about.
I told you it's gonna go to the limit, and I ain't lying to the people.
This is the ultimate Street Fighter V experience. This is Capcom Pro Tour.
Thanks, guys. It's been a really exciting season so far, and I can't wait to see how this plays out on the road to Capcom Cup. Remember to check out Capcom Fighters' Twitch and YouTube channels for more information and to watch the latest matches. So that's a wrap for Capcom at E3 this year. Let's recap what we all saw. Resident Evil Village is back with the latest installment of the survival horror experience and RE-Verse as part of the franchise's 25th anniversary. We have new adventures to embark on in the world of Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, and Monster Hunter Rise. And don't forget to go back in time with the great Ace Attorney Chronicles to tap into the family history of Phoenix Wright and solve new cases. Finally, don't miss out on the esports fun. Make sure you catch the latest matches with Capcom Fighters. There really is something for everyone here today. But don't go anywhere yet. Join the conversation on Twitter and make sure you check out the Capcom virtual booth on the E3 portal to watch all these videos again and more. I'm Rachel Querico, aka Seltzer. Thank you for being part of the Capcom experience at E3 this year.
Well, yeah, there you have it. Capcom has wrapped up. I know I promised you a post-show, but well, time running tight. We are actually going to head over to Razer and see what Razer is offering here at E3, and then we'll talk about it a little bit afterwards. I mean, we got a nice little succinct. Well, she brought it all together there at the end and told us about everything that they told us about. And, I mean, there wasn't that much going on, to be honest. But, yeah, well, while I wait for Razer to take the stage, let's talk about it a little bit, shall we? I mean, so, Resident Evil Village. The big announcement there was that Reverse, of course, which is going to be free for anybody that has bought Resident Evil Village, is going live next month. And, and the big announcement was that due to popular demand, they have now started development for DLC for Resident Evil Village. Which means that it's not only far out. I mean, of course, they have assets, they've built the engine and all this stuff. But if they only start development due to popular demand now, it's going to take some time until that's hits up. Wait, let me see if I can actually get the panel in here, because, like I said, Razer is taking a little bit longer to get going than I had planned. Yeah. What else did we see? We saw a whole lot about Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, and Monster Hunter Rise. I think the big news for Monster Hunter Rise was that there's a Capcom collab coming on June 18th, and version 3.1 is coming on June 24th already. So, for those of you playing Monster Hunter Rise, they're keeping the updates coming. There's also going to be a tie-in with Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin, where Palamute, I always forget the name, the Palamute that was introduced in Monster Hunter Rise is also going to be joining Monster Hunter Stories 2. So, I mean, that's fun. They showed a little bit more from Ace Attorney than I had expected, seeing as... they showed off the two new gameplay elements, the Dance of Deduction and the Summation Examination. And we got Kieran in here right now just for a little quick short chat. So, first of all, what do you think? I mean, it was kind of what we expected. We were getting our hopes up.
I think we were wild with our hopes towards the end, and what it was basically what Capcom told us what it was going to be, plus lots of this esports stuff towards the end, which I kind of zoned out of.
Yeah, I was at least hoping that they would, tell us about, Street Fighter 6. Oh, but I see Razer has just started, so sorry for dragging you in, but we're going to go over to Razer, and I'll talk a little bit more about Capcom when we are done over there. So, see you in a bit.
No problem. Bye.
Console gaming to mobile gaming. But what I'd like to talk a little bit about today, to kick things off, is PC gaming. Something near, dear, close to my heart. And pretty much to talk about the decade of the Razer Blade. So in 2011, we launched the world's first true gaming laptop. And this caused quite a bit of controversy back then because gaming laptops were not gaming laptops in the true sense of the word. They were gaming luggables back in the day. Super thick, super heavy. And the Razer Blade was the first true gaming laptop in the sense it was super thin, super light, and super powerful. And it ushered in a new generation of gaming laptops. And since then, over the past 10 years, the entire industry has moved to follow in the footsteps of the Razer Blade. In 2013, we launched the world's thinnest gaming laptop. 2016, we invented the world's first Thunderbolt 3 external GPU. In 2018, we launched the world's smallest 15-inch gaming laptop. And since then, we've now got the entire Razer Blade family. We've got the Blade Stealth 13, we've got the Blade Pro 17, and of course, we've got the Blade 15. And the Razer Blade has been both a critical and commercial success. It's been called the very best gaming laptop in the world and continues to win accolades over and over again. And at this point, many of our fans, many of the Razer community is asking, what's next? So we go down and we talk to every single one of our fan base, for gamers, by gamers, we talk to the press. And one thing that we've heard consistently over the past couple of years is when is Razer going to make an AMD gaming laptop? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm incredibly excited to be able to announce that we're now working closely together with AMD, and we've put the very best designers and engineers together with the top AMD engineers, and what we've created in a single line is the ultimate AMD gaming laptop. And with that, we are bringing back the legendary Razer Blade 14. How do we do this? How do we make the ultimate AMD gaming laptop? Well, we took a look at the 14-inch gaming laptops today. Now, many of them have tried to follow in the footsteps of the Blade 14 that we created some 10 years ago, and many things have changed since then. In terms of form factor, many of the gaming laptops out there are portable, but we feel they could be thinner, could be slimmer. Now, over and above, in terms of GPUs, there's been not much innovation. Don't get me wrong, they've got a great GPU in there, but they max out at a RTX 3060. In fact, in terms of total graphics power, or TGP, they max out at just 80 watts. And we feel it could go much higher with, of course, the right materials and with, of course, the right cooling thermal solutions. Now, as we talk about materials, unfortunately, most of them still use really non-premium builds. Now, one thing that we do at Razer that all of you are familiar with is that we look at doing really premium builds. We've got CNC'd machined chassis. We want to make sure that you've got the best possible no flex kind of a chassis, but many of the ones out there don't have that. And of course, cooling. Many of the 14-inch gaming laptops are still using solutions that we pioneered some 10 years ago. At Razer, we've really pushed it ahead. We've had vapor chamber cooling for years now. We are in the next generation of that. We've done that for laptops. We've done that for phones over and over. Now, in terms of having all this last-gen tech, many of them are still limited in terms of the ports that they've got. They've got only a couple of Type A ports, a couple of Type C ports, so on and so forth. And they've got truly, truly uninspired keyboards. They're using single color backlit keyboards. Why? Because they don't have space or they don't have the imagination. But at Razer, we've got loads and loads of imagination. And what do we want to imagine? Well, a whole lot of ultras. Ultra what? Well, ultra powerful. We want it to be ultra powerful. We want it to be ultra thin. We want it to be ultra fast. We want to have ultra connectivity. We want it to be ultra responsive. And of course, ultra immersive. That's a lot of ultras to make the ultimate AMD gaming laptop. But let's talk about how ultra powerful the new Razer Blade 14 is. Now, together with AMD and Razer, we have designed and engineered in a single line the world's most powerful 14-inch gaming laptop. This is not any normal gaming laptop that we're talking about. We're talking about the world's most powerful 14-inch gaming laptop. And to this end, we wanted to pick one of the most powerful CPUs on the planet today, and we've picked the AMD Ryzen 5900HX. This is truly an incredible CPU. We are talking about a HX class, an extreme class AMD processor, and it's an unlocked processor. Unlike many of the other laptops out there using the HS class processors, we are using a HX class unlocked processor, a Zen 3 mobile processor in a cutting-edge 7-nanometer level. It's an 8-core x86 CPU, and it's got up to a whopping 4.6 gigahertz of power. This is an insanely great CPU. And joining me here today talking about this partnership to make the ultimate AMD gaming laptop is Jason Banter, VP of Product Management of AMD.
Razer is known for some of the most innovative gaming laptops in the industry. Razer has established a design, quality, and performance standard that is second to none. That's why we at AMD are excited to partner with Razer for the first time, bringing Ryzen, the world's best mobile gaming processors, to the Razer laptop lineup. Engineers from both companies partnered together, start to finish, to bring the best components, the best performance, and the best experience together in the new Razer Blade 14. The new Blade 14 features an unlocked Ryzen 9 5900HX processor, enabling elite gaming performance on a thin and light notebook with amazing battery life. The 5900HX delivers 8 cores and 16 threads of Zen 3 core performance. A max boost clock of up to 4.6 gigahertz quickly dispatches workloads, reduces latency when gaming, and performs 3D renders at breakneck speeds. The 5900HX also doubles the L3 cache size compared to the 4000 series. This massive on-chip memory is vital to unlock the full performance of discrete graphics for gaming. And all of this is based on 7-nanometer process technology. The AMD Ryzen 9 HX series was designed to deliver the most immersive gaming experience you can get in a laptop with zero compromises. From all of us at AMD, congratulations to Min and the entire Razer team for outstanding execution on this project. We're proud to be a part of this generation of Razer Blade laptops and look forward to expanding these opportunities for gamers in the future.
Thank you very much, Jason. So that was Jason of AMD talking about our partnership. But the CPU, of course, while we've picked one of the most powerful in the world, is just half the equation. What's on the other half of the equation? Well, the GPU. We've picked one of the most powerful CPUs in the world, and we've also picked one of the most powerful GPUs. And we're talking, of course, about the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 30 series. Now, our engineers and NVIDIA, we've been working together for many years. We've been optimizing it. We've got the best GPUs in the world with NVIDIA. They've got up to 8 gigs of VRAM. And one thing that we did is that we've managed to push the total gaming power up to 100 watts of power. We're not talking about the 80 watts that everyone else is doing. We've pushed it all the way to the limit, up to 100 watts of TGP, and in something as small and thin as a 14-inch form factor. Now, of course, we start with the RTX 3060. It's a great GPU. That's what everybody else is also using, but we wanted to start with that. Now, over and above, our thermals guys said, you know, we're crazy at Razer. We're the mad scientists. We can take it a notch further. So what have we done? Well, in the new Razer Blade 14, we've got an RTX 3070 option. that's a truly powerful GPU matched with a truly powerful CPU. But we're Razer. We want to take it up to 11. We are going all the way up to the moon. And what we've done with the new Razer Blade 14 is that we have now added as an option a crazy and insane RTX 3080. Imagine that, the most powerful GPU on the planet with one of the most powerful CPUs on the planet. It's truly, truly powerful. And of course, joining me here on screen today from NVIDIA to talk about how we've put this crazy RTX 3080 into an ultra-thin form factor of the new Razer Blade 14 is Matt, VP, Global GeForce Marketing at NVIDIA, on screen.
Thanks, Min, for inviting us to present at your event. Once again, we're excited to partner with Razer on the development and launch of a Blade laptop. This time, the all-new Blade 14 powered by GeForce RTX. For the first time, gamers can experience an RTX 3070 and 3080 laptop GPU in a 14-inch form factor. It packs incredible performance in an ultra-thin, sleek design. Wherever you go, you can play the most stunning and graphically demanding games because the RTX 30 series includes second-gen RT cores that enable fast ray tracing. Enjoy realistic lighting, reflections, shadows, ambient occlusion, and more. All of those make your games more immersive. Ray tracing is featured in many of today's most popular games. NVIDIA DLSS also has been widely adopted by games. Many refer to it as magical. DLSS provides a huge boost to performance using AI rendering and looks as good or better than traditional methods. Dedicated tensor cores built into the RTX GPU do the AI processing. Now, in addition to the high frame rates pumped out by the GeForce GPU, NVIDIA Reflex low latency technologies give gamers the competitive edge in their favorite games. NVIDIA Reflex is now supported in 7 of the top 10 competitive shooters. But we're talking about laptops, so efficient power usage is incredibly important to making gaming laptops as thin and cool and quiet as possible. That's where our Max-Q technologies come in. Every aspect of the laptop, the GPU, software, PCB design, power delivery, and thermals are all optimized for power and performance. With the help of AI, high-performance gaming laptops are faster and better than ever before. Let me give you an example. Dynamic Boost 2. It automatically distributes the power across the GPU memory, and the CPU for maximum performance, whether you're gaming or creating. We can't wait for gamers and creators to experience the incredible power and the portability of the new Razer Blade 14. Min, thank you for your great partnership.
Thank you very much, Matt. And that is the ultimate AMD gaming laptop, ultra powerful. And we just talked about it. But we've not just got true power. It's not just the world's most powerful 14-inch gaming laptop. Let's talk a little bit about how it's ultra thin. Now, how thin have we gotten it? Well, it's not just ultra thin. It is the world's thinnest 14-inch gaming laptop. Let it sink in. Think about it. I just said this is the world's most powerful 14-inch gaming laptop, and now I'm actually saying it's also the world's thinnest 14-inch gaming laptop. We are talking about 16.8 millimeters thin with a 3080. Mind you, it's 0.66 inches thin. And the reason for it is because for the past 10 years, we've been bringing together the very best thermals engineers on the planet. They've got all kinds of innovative solutions. They've been pushing the limits. And what we've got over here in the Razer Blade 14 is the next generation vapor chambers. And we've designed this from ground up. We are light years ahead of the competition. Many of them are still copying what we've done 10 years ago. And today we're 10 years ahead. We're a full decade ahead. We've designed the next generation vapor chambers in the Blade 14. Each of these tiny little fans have got 88 fan blades. And we worked with fluid dynamics scientists. We made sure that every fan blade was designed from the ground up. 88 fan blades. What does that mean? Every single fan blade in our fans is about 0.1 millimeters thin. We have designed fan blades the width of a human hair. In addition, of course, we are using T6 grade aluminum CNC chassis. You've got to kind of touch it to believe it. You've got to understand that's what a razor blade is about, that premium quality. And of course, that super durable anodized finish. Ultra thin, the world's thinnest 14-inch gaming laptop. So let's talk about how fast it is. Ultra fast. We've got the fastest 14-inch display. We've got two options. We've got a FHD 144 Hertz, and we've got a QHD at a blazing fast 165 Hertz. It's 100% DCI P3 display, IPS grade. It's AMD FreeSync Premium, and every single display is custom calibrated right out of the factory. Ultra fast. Now let's talk about connectivity really quickly. Ultra connectivity, lots and lots and lots and lots of ports. We're talking about Wi-Fi 6E. We've got Bluetooth 5.2. Now, some of the gaming laptops, or the 14-inch gaming laptops, don't even have space to put a camera there. Webcam, it's a Windows Hello. Lots of ports. We've got, on one end of the chassis, we've got a Type A, we've got a Type C Gen 2. The Type C, is Gen 2 charging. It's got a display port. In addition to that, we've got HDMI 2.1, which has an output of 4K, 120 Hertz. Now, on the other end, we've also got another Type A, another Type C. We've got lots and lots of ports. Ultra connectivity. Let's talk about how responsive it is. Ultra responsive. It's got a full anti-ghosted keyboard. We've pioneered this many, many years ago. Now, one of the things I'm really proud of is how buttery smooth. This is like melted butter. The precision touchpad is. It's a beautiful touchpad. You've got to touch it to believe it. And unlike all the other inspired keyboards, we've got a per key Razer Chroma RGB keyboard. It's a fantastic keyboard. It's an incredible keyboard. It's got a beautiful key travel. You got to try it to believe it. This is a legend by itself. It's ultra responsive. And now let's talk a little bit about how immersive the new Blade 14 is. And what we've got incorporated inside this is THX spatial audio, giving that beautiful spatial surround sound all around you. And of course, we're using it with upward firing speakers. That's a truly, truly great set of speakers. And at this point of time, I'm sure most of you guys watching, some of you guys may be skeptical. We've made it so powerful. We've made it so thin. We've packed it chock full of all kinds of features. This is like a laptop, which is 10 years in the future. What have we compromised? And at Razer, we do not compromise. You'll know it if you own one of our Blade laptops. We do not compromise. And some of you may suspect we may have put a really tiny battery in there. Absolutely not. Because on a single charge, the Blade 14 runs for up to 12 hours. That's an insane level of battery life in the Blade 14. Now, the team has put together a video, a quick ad to kind of show it to everyone. I'm sure you're excited to see it. And let's show it for everyone. Here you go.
Yeah, this is what I'm made of. This is for the throne and the kingdom. The king's here, yelling freedom. Do or die, do it now if you believe it. You reap what you sow every season. Yeah, you kill what you eat when you feast it. Yeah, it's death before the sign of no treason. No, in a time of war, no retreat. Never lay down and die on my feet. I look the reaper in his eyes and won't blink. I'm the voice every time that I speak. It's like thunder when it strikes. I'm the king. I'm the king. I am supreme. I am king.
And at this point of time, I'm sure all of you would like to see the actual real thing. This is not a figment of my imagination. This is not a figment of the imagination of a gamer out there. But here it is, the legendary Razer Blade 14, back in flesh or back in CNC aluminum. You can see it's ultra thin. Imagine that we've got a HX class CPU in there. We've got a 5900 Ryzen, of course. We've also got a 3080 NVIDIA GeForce GPU, all in an ultra-thin 16.8 millimeter form factor. It's super, super thin. All right, I'm sure you guys would like to see the display. This is a 165 Hertz display. As you can see, it's just truly, truly beautiful. And yes, there is a webcam. All right, so check it out. And it just sounds beautiful. So, this is the new Blade 14. It's so compact, packing a 3080. Imagine that. And really quickly, to take us through this is the world's most powerful 14-inch gaming laptop. It's ultra powerful. It's ultra thin. It's the world's thinnest 14-inch gaming laptop. Just imagine I'm saying that at the same time. Ultra fast. It's got ultra connectivity. Look at all the ports on both ends. It's got an ultra responsive gaming keyboard, and it's ultra immersive. You know, you've seen the upward firing speakers, and all of this with 12 hours of battery life. Today, together with AMD, I'm incredibly excited to announce the ultimate AMD gaming laptop, the new Razer Blade 14. Now, at this point of time, you want to know the price, you want to know availability. Well, I'm sure with a product like that, you're probably quaking inside thinking, is this going to be a $5,000 laptop? It's got all the insane features. It's got the most powerful CPUs and GPUs, right? You know, is this going to be a $3,000 laptop? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the new Razer Blade 14 starts at just $1,799. When is it available? Well, not in 10 years from now. It's available right now today. By the end of this keynote, you can order it. And where can you order it? Well, you can order it online at Razer.com or at any of our global Razer stores. You can check them out. And of course, at leading retailers globally, you can check it out right away today at just starting from $1,799. Ladies and gentlemen, the new Razer Blade 14, the ultimate AMD gaming laptop. So that's the first product that we've got today. And we've still got a big show ahead. So what's next? Insanely small, insanely powerful. And what am I talking about? Well, it's our all-new USB-C 130-watt GAN charger. 10 years ago, when we first launched the Razer Blade, one of the big innovations that we did was we went and redesigned the charger. 10 years later, we're now really pushing the limits of what we can do with power. So here is a traditional power brick. It's shipped in many of the other gaming laptops out there. Not a Razer laptop, but this is often in many of the other gaming laptops. This is 130 watt size of a power brick, all right? It's almost 3 inches tall. It's got about 6 inches wide. How big is the new Razer GAN charger? Or how much smaller is it? It's up to 59% smaller. It's so tiny, it can fit in your pocket. And it's not just smaller, it's also up to about 17% shorter. It's an incredibly, incredibly small charger. So I thought you guys would like to see how small or how large the chargers are. This is a traditional 130 watt power brick. It's pretty big, it's pretty heavy. It's something that will ship with your traditional luggable kind of a laptop. So how small is the Razer GAN charger? Boom, it's just hiding behind it. It's just so tiny. The same amount of power that it's packing from 130 watt, and this is a 130 watt charger. And this is already considered one of the smaller 130 watt chargers out there. You can see how tiny, how small it is, but we've got another surprise for all of you. This charger can only do one thing. It charges your 130 watt laptop or gaming laptop. This charger doesn't just charge your laptop. Boom, it charges up to 4 devices simultaneously. That's how powerful, that's how insane this product is. This is the Razer GAN charger, USB-C 130 watts of power, truly compact power. Here's the side profile. Here's the front profile. You can see the 4 ports, 2 USB-Cs and two USB-As, truly compact power. And here's a perspective shot. Truly, we've designed this so that this is the perfect charger that you can buy. It allows you faster charging up to 4 devices. It's mobile and travel ready with global adapter plugs. And in summary, it's small enough to fit your pocket. Charge up to 4 devices at once. Faster charging, 2 times USB-A, 2 times USB-C, mobile and travel ready. And it's got safer power delivery features. Now, what does it work with? Well, lots and lots of selected devices. As long as it's got USB-C and charging, it works with a whole slew of Razer Blade laptops, Apple MacBooks, both the Pro and the Air, Windows laptops like the Dell XPS, tablets, smartphones, smartwatches, and much more. So, is this $500? Is it $300? Well, absolutely not. The Razer GAN charger is just $179.99. You can pre-order it right now, and we're shipping within the next 30 days. And you can buy it, of course, at Razer.com, any of our Razer stores, and at leading retailers globally. This is the Razer 130-watt GAN charger, and you'll want to be making your pre-orders right now because this is truly the ultimate charger. Next up, Pixel Perfect. Well, a couple of years ago, we launched the Razer Raptor 27. What do we have with it? With the new Razer Raptor? Well, still a 27-inch form factor. It's got an IPS display. It's got a beautiful QHD resolution display. Now, what we've done is that we've upped the refresh rate from 144 Hz from the previous generation to a faster 165 Hz refresh rate. In addition, we've looked at how to ensure that there's tear-free adaptive sync. It's not just using NVIDIA G-Sync, but it's also compatible with AMD FreeSync Premium. And we've got one of the best display panels in the industry. It's got a 95% DCI P3 color space, HDR, high dynamic range display. And something I'm really proud of is that this is the world's first THX certified gaming monitor. And we've worked really closely together with THX, specifically with the gentleman, Eric Gemmer, who's got decades of experience in making sure that he certifies the very best displays in the market. And joining me on screen here today is Eric, talking a little bit about our partnership.
Hi there, I'm Eric Gemmer, THX's Director of Imaging Technologies. I'm pleased to announce that THX has certified its first ever gaming PC monitor, the newly refreshed Razer Raptor 27-inch. If you don't know, to become THX certified, a monitor like the Razer Raptor must pass 400 different tests run by the certification team and me. The THX certification process makes sure that the screen in question will perform remarkably well, and our testing process includes ensuring panels are lit consistently, colors are accurate, and the image is pristine and clear. The result is a stunningly good screen that is good for fast-paced gameplay and other challenging scenarios. More importantly, THX certification plus the Razer Raptor's fast refresh rate of 165 Hz and 1 millisecond response time means the screen will keep with your superhuman reflexes. If you're a creator, the THX certified screens, like the Raptor, have the added benefit of being a great option for color grading. If you've ever worked on an artistic endeavor and the colors you see look off compared to other screens, don't worry. THX's certified screens and our exacting attention to detail means the Razer Raptor 27 serves as a benchmark for color accuracy, so your next project will look true to your artistic vision. If the Razer Raptor is your main entertainment screen, you're in luck, because like all THX certified screens, the Razer Raptor 27 includes our renowned THX Cinema mode. When it comes time to enjoy your favorite blockbuster movie or TV shows, it'll look spectacular and pixel perfect by correcting for color, brightness, grayscale, and removing any excessive and unwanted video processing. Across the board, the Razer Raptor 27 is a superb entertainment screen, and we hope you enjoy the quality THX certification brings to the new Razer Raptor 27.
Thank you very much, Eric. So that's Eric, who's had decades and decades of experience in terms of making sure that the very best displays in the world are certified in accordance to THX's highest standards. And I'd like to talk a little bit about the new Razer Raptor 27. It's got a forged aluminum construction. It's got a beautiful construction. It's got a unique 90-degree tilt that you can flex it and have it positioned any way you like it. And it's got lots and lots and lots of ports. It's got a beautiful integrated cable management. It's truly unique. You can see it from the rear. And when you touch the back of the new Razer Raptor 27, it's got a beautiful textured fabric backing. Now, the display is optimized in terms of software. We've had optimized gaming modes, as well as immersive cinema modes that you can use. And over and above, of course, it's integrated with Razer Chroma RGB. So it fits the entire Chroma RGB family. With Chroma as the world's largest RGB platform, you can rest assured the new Razer Raptor will fit in terms of the entire desktop or battle station that you have. Now, one of the things that we've done to update the new Razer Raptor 27 is to include VESA compatibility. New Razer Raptor will allow you to use monitor arms with a VESA-compatible mount, and this is also backward compatible with the previous Razer Raptor 27. And of course, the mounts are sold separately, and I thought I'd share a little picture of how a triple screen monitor might look on your desk, and it looks just beautiful. Now, at this point, I'm sure many of you guys would like to see a video that we've put together for the new Razer Raptor 27, and here you go. All right, so at this point of time, let's do a quick demo of the new Razer Raptor 27. Let's call up the Raptor 27. All right, here you go. It's got a beautiful, beautiful screen. It's forged out of aluminum. It's a beautiful monitor. Let's turn it around so people can see the integrated cable management. As you can see, it's got a truly unique cable management system. All right, let's turn it to the front again. And one of the things that we've updated, the new Raptor 27, is, of course, the VESA mount. And with the VESA mount, now you can have a triple screen monitor. There you go, boom. Display over here, right on your battle station. If you turn it around, you can see how it looks. It's truly, truly unique. And we're really excited to be able to present this here today, the new Razer Raptor 27. Thank you very much. So, in closing, it's got an ultra-fast display. We've upped it to 165 Hertz. It's a beautiful display. It's got adaptive sync. Bear in mind, it's got both G-Sync and AMD FreeSync Premium. It's the world's first THX-certified monitor. And it's a VESA mount compatible, sold separately. And it's got this really clean, ultra-clean cable management system. And lots of ports. So how much is the new Razer Raptor? Well, you can pre-order it right now at just $799, and we will be shipping within the next 30 days. And of course, like most Razer products, you can order it at Razer.com, Razer stores globally, and leading retailers. And also, you can order the new VESA mount, which is optional, at just $99, available today at Razer.com and at global Razer stores. Ladies and gentlemen, the new Razer Raptor 27, pixel perfect. So that's what we have today at our Razer keynote at E3. Remember to join us after this. We've got Razer Store Live. Every month we run this. We've got great new products that we announce. We've got giveaways, and we stream it live from one of our Razer stores somewhere in the world. But that's not all. We've got one more thing to share with everyone, and it's safe, social, and sustainable. And what am I talking about? Well, no other than Project Hazel. We announced this at CES earlier this year. And at CES, we had some truly insane press coverage with everyone out there saying, when can I get a Project Hazel? Will you make it into reality? And it wasn't just the press. We had resounding response from the community, every single one asking us to make Project Hazel a reality. And many of you had great ideas for features to remove. We've heard your feedback. We continue to hear your feedback on Twitter, on Facebook. Ping us anytime because we listen to all the feedback for gamers, by gamers. And what I thought I would do today is that I'd give everyone an update on the project because we are going to be making Project Hazel a reality. So what kind of updates can we give? Well, when the pandemic first started, we converted one of our manufacturing facilities to make surgical masks. Today, we at Razer make high quality, certified surgical masks and we ship them worldwide. We've donated over 1 million masks worldwide in the US, in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, etc. And we continue to do that. High quality surgical masks meeting the very best standards. And what we've done is that we've taken the learnings from that, the engineering, the design, and we've put that into Project Hazel. So Project Hazel is going to be using replaceable N95 grade filters. We've now designed in a secure silicon face seal. These are just some of the updates since the last time that we talked about this at CES. And we are going to make sure that Project Hazel follows the lab testing with BFE rating that we've done for our surgical masks. That's the safe aspect. Now, what about the social aspect? What are we keeping? What are we not keeping? Well, first up, the clear, transparent design. We're definitely keeping that. We're also adding in interior lighting so that in low light conditions, you can still see the face of the Project Hazel user. And one of the big things that we've added this time around is anti-fog coating. So we've got an anti-fog coating on the inside of the Project Hazel to ensure that the social function still remains even during use. Now, what about sustainability? Now, many of you will be aware sustainability is at the core of what we do over here at Razer. We care a lot about the environment. One of the things that concerned us the most when we were making these one-off surgical masks was the sustainability of the surgical masks. Well, Project Hazel has got a reusable mask design, and every single filter lasts 3 times longer than single-use surgical masks. And what I'm really proud to say is that every filter uses 80% less material than traditional surgical masks. Now, I'm sure many of you are waiting to try out Project Hazel, and I'm going to talk about availability at the end of this. But if you can't wait to try Project Hazel out, we've got something really special for all of you. You can try the Project Hazel filter online and see how it looks on your face. You can check it out on Instagram, check out Razer, and here's a quick video to show how you can use the Project Hazel filter on Insta. Now remember to tag us with your Project Hazel filters because we will be watching out for all of you. And we might have some pretty cool giveaways for Project Hazel when the time comes for shipping. So we've got a quick video to show you the updates that we've made since the last time we announced this at CES. Here you go. So, I'm sure many of you are asking, when can I get one? When do they ship? Well, with the insane demand that we're expecting for Project Hazel, we've put together a plan so that we can get as many of these units out to you as possible. We're going to have limited quantities right from the get-go. So once we start manufacturing, we're going to be doing sale by drops. We'll have all the database of everybody who wants a Project Hazel, and we'll send you information once there are units available. And our first drop is going to be happening early Q4. We're still perfecting it. We're taking in all the beta feedback. You're going to see units out in the field, but the first drop is going to happen early Q4 once we've got most of the testing and certification done. And it's going to be available exclusively on Razer.com. And you can sign up now for all the information at rzr.to/project-hazel. So thank you very much for joining us here today at the Razer keynote at E3. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Goodbye.
Well, there you have it. Razer has taken to the stage, and if you were wondering why I wanted to go and cut the post-show for Capcom a bit short and go over to Razer, no, well, now you know. I had some inkling of some of the things that were being shown, but let's go through them quickly. First of all, go to your local Gamereactor domain of choice right now and see a little quick look that we did of the Razer Blade 14. As it was described in the show, the world's ultimate AMD gaming laptop. I have touched it. I haven't gotten to try it. It was a production model. But I have to say, having it in your hands, it is tiny. In a good way. Because it is super thin, super powerful, and has all these ports. But I'll let the quick look do the talking on that one. So go and check that out right after the show. What else did they show? They also showed the 130 watt GAN charger, something that we've heard inklings of it coming in the past. And finally now we know that it is coming. 130 watts USB-C, and that it can charge up to 4 devices at the same time. So that's beautiful. The new Raptor 27 going up to, well, it's Quad HD, 165 Hertz, supports both G-Sync and AMD FreeSync Premium or Ultimate. I always mix those up. And THX certified, 98% DCI-P3, I believe it was. So it's like that is a beautiful looking gaming monitor. And I have this weird feeling that we're gonna have it in the studio soon to take a look. So stay tuned for that. And then there was the one more thing, the Project Hazel. Well, we've been waiting and hoping for that for a while, and still we have to wait a little bit longer. First drop's coming in Q1 of next year. And maybe, I mean, there might be some people out there saying, well, I mean, hey, the pandemic is over. We're all getting vaccinated and we're not going to need masks. Call me a pessimist, but I think the time for masks is not completely over. We'll be seeing the need for masks again. And the one thing that I'm concerned about there is the actual see-through front piece, because even though it has anti-fog coating on the inside, I have a mask that is clear and has anti-fog coating on the inside, and it doesn't really work. So hopefully Razer will be able to do something better there. But yeah, that Razer Blade 14 looks mighty sexy. So check out the quick look, and we'll get a full a production model soon to do some reviews on. So stay tuned for that. But let's talk a little bit more about Capcom, shall we? Because we didn't really get to finish the talk we were having there. First of all, I mean, it was very Monster Hunter heavy. But what I kind of enjoyed was the collab between Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2 that was announced. So, first of all, Capcom collab is, well, it was coming when? June 18th, so it's right around the corner. And then the version 3.1 of Monster Hunter Rise is actually dropping on June 24th. I mean, this Capcom show was nothing really special. I mean, they E3 is all about like, hitting us with the big stuff and the future, and they mostly just talked about what's already there. I mean, I'm especially kind of disappointed for what they talked about with Resident Evil Village, because, I mean, just putting that on the show there, you're thinking, oh, they're gonna actually, announce and talk about something, but it ended up just being, oh, Reverse is coming next month, and we have started making some DLC, which is like, well, okay. I just really, really, really wanted the VR version to be announced, but alas, not today. Now, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, let me pull up the gameplay overview here. I kind of enjoyed it. I mean, of course, it's hilarious that he's called Sherlock Sholmes. And of course looks exactly like you would expect Sherlock Holmes to look. But they showed us the Dance of Deduction and the summation examination. I mean, if you like Ace Attorney, I think you should be hyped for that. Now, they didn't talk at all about localization, which is something us here in Europe care about, especially our friends down in Spain, Portugal, Italy. Like, they want this localized, which should be easy-ish, seeing as that it's mostly text. I mean, there's some spoken words over it, but they could go for keeping the English voices, but all the text is localized. But they haven't been doing that for the past couple of big releases. So, I mean, who knows what's going to happen there. And they ended the show on talking about... what is it? / Capcom Fighters, basically the Capcom esports. And I was hoping, I took a deep breath because I was like, oh, Street Fighter 6? No. They're just talking about their ongoing commitment to esport and fighting esports. And you can check just about on any platform / Capcom Fighters for any updates there that you want to follow. So all in all, Capcom was it was a meh show. Basically, all of these things that they talked about, basically, I feel like they basically only did this show because Nintendo said, no, we're only doing 15 minutes. You can't fit, a gameplay preview of Ace Attorney in there and all of those Monster Hunter trailers. So they're like, oh, well, okay, we'll just take the stage for 20 minutes, or was it a full half hour? And and show it off. It was like, okay. They didn't get our expectations up before the show. Obviously, they were very honest with what we were going to be seeing, but it's just in our nature with E3 to hope that something, really exciting is going to pop. But let me see. I have the extended trailer here for Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin, which I guess if you're very much into that universe and you're enjoying Rise and you want to see, it's all gonna connect and roll into each other and the universe is building, it's like, yeah, cool, great. Just wasn't my cup of tea, and I feel like they could have done it a little bit more exciting for those that are really interested in the series by actually showing a little bit more how the gameplay is actually going to work in Stories instead of what amounts to a cinematic trailer, basically. So yeah, Capcom, I guess, I mean, we could have take it or leave it for the general public, for the Capcom heads out there, the Monster Hunter fans, the Ace Attorney fans. I guess they got exactly what they wanted. But that's it for E3 today. But make sure to tune in tomorrow, because tomorrow's a big day. Let me pull up the schedule here. So make sure that I don't miss anything. Which browser did I have that in? Oh, here we go. So, I mean, of course, we are going to see Nintendo take the stage with, I believe it's going to be a 15-minute Treehouse presentation. So, I mean, they're going to show some stuff that we're going to be interested in, but with only 15 minutes, I don't expect to see anything huge and big. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow in the pre-show. Bandai Namco is also going to be having their presentation, which seems to be... it might actually be an hour long, or just under an hour, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, something like that. Eureka Studio. And then, of course, we have the official E3 2021 award show. So, yeah, that's day 3 of E3 done and dusted. And it's time to, go to bed. For us here in Europe, it's almost 1 o'clock. So I'm going to go say farewell, get some sleep, and I will see you all fresh tomorrow, where we, continue E3. Today was a bit lackluster, especially compared to yesterday. I mean, Xbox and Bethesda kind of set the bar, and then everybody slid way under it so far. But let's see what Nintendo does tomorrow. I mean, if they hold up a Nintendo Pro, it's all open. But yeah, make sure to tune in tomorrow and see exactly what happens. Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and bye.